The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
One of my favorite things about being single is a first kiss. There's two types of kisses. Open mouth, closed mouth. Open, good. Closed, good. Open, closed, one of the worst things ever.
Feel that first kiss again. That's right, because that's the only real kiss in a relationship. Every other kiss is just protocol. That's all it is. Just routine. Hey, you was gone, you back. It's all routine. The first kiss is the only real one. The first kiss is always like double dutch. You just sitting there like, when do I get in?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I want to kiss you.
The Weekend.
All right, hey. Here we go. This feels pretty good. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. We've reached the end. The end of our work week. Time to get absolutely wasted. Josh, I got a couple of buddies who are in their 50s now, and they still like to talk about how wasted they're going to get.
Well, yeah, every weekend. They like to get wasted.
They love that word, wasted.
But they like to tell you how wasted they got?
They like to tell you how wasted they're going to get.
Oh, okay.
Do they count their drink? They don't count their drinks anymore. Like, you might meet a buddy who's like, dude, I had 14 tequila shots last night. And two cervezas.
Or that thing where they, in college, where you'd have a magic marker and you write, like, check marks on your arm for each drink you've had.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing when I was in college.
I'm
never
so glad
saw it.
I never did that.
I never saw. No, these two buddies, they really enjoy telling you how wasted they plan on getting. Even if it's 2 or 3 weeks away.
In their 50s, huh?
Yes.
Are these like married guys, not a lot going on during the week, and they need this weekend?
One is married, one is single. Neither of them have ever had anything going on.
Okay.
So, again, they like to tell you, even if it's a month away, hey, dude, in a month I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to get so friggin' wasted. It doesn't matter the time frame. They like to tell you their plans to get wasted, and then if you run into them a couple days after the fact, then they'll tell you just how wasted they were able to get.
In their 50s, huh?
Wasted.
I like that they're holding on to their youth. A little too much, maybe. But, Dana, to go back to what you said, I've never heard of that where people mark down on their arms with marker.
No, that's new to me as well.
So, I mean, is that for the paramedics? Just so they know, okay, this guy had this many drinks.
It's more like
do you hide it from the cops when they pull you over with drinking and driving? What happens then?
It was more of like a show-off thing at a party, like you'd just like pull up your sleeve, or if you had a short sleeve shirt on, you'd have, 12, 13 check marks on there, and like, yeah, look how many drinks I've had tonight.
Yeah, I always tried to stay away from the people that had marker on their arm.
Or sometimes what you do, if you drink mixed drinks, they'll keep their straw for each one that they have. So if they have 7 straws, they had 7 drinks.
In the neighborhood that our workplace is and the neighborhood I grew up in, the markers, marks on the arm were for how many people they killed. Yesterday there was a dramatic incident when Ashley and I were leaving. Nick, you must have just missed it by minutes, I would say. Some people pulled in the parking lot, and there was this whole thing. I have no idea what was going on. They're yelling at each other, getting in and out of people's vehicles. Some guy kind of takes off. They chase some guy. It was odd.
Oh, wow.
How long did you stick around after I left? Because I thought about sitting and watching it for a while, but I decided against that in case something bad happened.
Well, there's a few people from the building kind of paying attention to what was going on. And I stuck around long enough just to see, do we need to call the cops about this, or are they going to figure out this dispute or whatever it was?
No, you're right. I missed this. So a couple cars come racing in. There's some arguing. There's some this and that. And then it cleared out.
And a couple of people tried to leave the parking lot, and they're waving them away, like, get the hell out of here. We're not budging. And then so people are, like, backing out, like, okay, I guess I'll go out the other way. And that's kind of what you did, Ash.
Yeah, I took, like, a couple looks at what they were doing, and I thought, yeah, I'm just going to go the other way.
So that must be part of what I saw then, too, because I left when Nick left. I left right behind Nick, and when I turned right, I was going out, and I saw this car. So we have these roads. There's one road, that can get to our work, and on the other side, there's another road and it's blocked by a barrier, like a steel barrier or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw this car it was turning, and it almost went through the barrier and went to the other road. And
Was
then
it
whipped around. And then,
there's a red sedan or an
Yes.
SUV?
Oh.
red sedan.
I like this.
And then it took off and went down towards our work.
Yeah.
So I bet that's
Crazy.
what it was.
We always joke about kind of where we're at, but yesterday was a nice reminder.
Lock your car and check your surroundings.
I saw the car turn, and I'm like, how the hell did the car go from that street over here?
It was very aggressive.
Crazy.
This
Yeah.
all sounds very dramatic.
It was very dramatic.
Me and Josh looked at each other and just threw our hands up like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we both gave each other a shrug like, do you have any idea what's happening here? I saw them pull in. I saw the whole thing. I videotaped some of it just in case I, end up getting shot or something, so there'll be something on my phone saying how I died.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. No, I missed all of this. Like I said, sounds very dramatic.
Yeah, you missed it.
Stressful. Sounds stressful.
A little bit, just wondering, well, where's this going to go?
You know what you guys ought to do? You ought to go out and get wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting so wasted.
I mean, after something like that. That reminds me, remember, Josh, many years back when some dude pulled into our parking lot and, how should I say this? He symbolically divorced himself from our radio station. I thought you and I were standing in the parking lot together. A dude drives in. He's behind the wheel of one of those pickup trucks, and he rolls down his window. You know, he knows where he's at. He knows he's in our radio station parking lot. And some absolute gibberish came out of his mouth. Couldn't make out a single thing he was saying. I mean, it was English, but it was just crazy person English. And then, do you remember this? He threw a T-shirt out of his pickup and raced away. Okay. And then when we went to investigate, it was a 93X T-shirt. What? So do you see what I mean? He put on this symbolic show of defiance and through gibberish, wrote us off. And as a matter of fact, he left behind one of our radio station T-shirts that he used to wear, but now he's done.
That's awesome.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. It took me a second to remember what you were mentioning there, but yes, that was pretty good.
You get all types, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
You get all types.
He toshed a T-shirt that he paid for. All right.
Well, I mean, we don't know that he paid for it. He may have, but just he was ridding himself of the radio. And I don't think he knew that it was you and I standing out in the parking lot.
Oh, I'm sure, no.
He, in his mind, I think maybe there was a captive audience. I don't think the guy was all there, so it wasn't as if he was trying to show Josh and I don't think he maybe didn't even notice us. It was just, and then he threw a T-shirt and he drove away.
Did I tell you guys about the time I was leaving here? It was probably like a year ago. I was
Yes,
walking
you
out-
did, so save it.
Darn. Okay.
I'm kidding. A year ago, you're doing what?
No, I'm saving it.
No, don't save it.
Okay.
Now I need to know.
So I was walking out the front door, and I looked over to my left, and there's a guy in a clown mask. And then he just kind of looks and stares at me, and it freaked me the hell out.
I
so I
bet.
ran to my car, locked myself in my car, and then he started changing his oil in our parking lot. And then,
Like, that's not a euphemism for anything?
no, he was
legitimately
literally
working on his car?
changing his oil.
No, you
in our
never told
parking
us
lot.
any of this.
Yeah, and then the front desk lady had to come outside, and she yelled at him, and then he drove away.
Oh,
It
yeah, that was
insane.
That was her husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
No, how did you sit on that
Yeah,
story?
no kidding.
What the hell are you talking
He
about?
definitely told us like multiple times.
No, I've never heard this
Maybe
before.
not on air, but yeah.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Never
must
heard
have
it.
told you guys off air. Yeah, that's something that would stand out. A
Yeah.
guy in a clown mask that terrified Wapple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it looked like a Slipknot mask.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's
Sure.
terrifying. That
Yeah.
I would cry if I saw something like that, Wapple.
Then there was the guy who was building a spaceship. We've run into some interesting people in the parking lot.
And then there's the turkeys that always try to kill us. They're always out front,
Yeah,
too.
the birds want you. There was a
Hate
guy
that.
not too long ago where I pulled into Nick and I used to park in a particular lot. We can't do that anymore, but I pulled back there, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's somebody coming, and he ducked down, tried to get under the steering wheel like I wouldn't see him, but his windows are all fogged up, and I
Oh,
could see
no.
him moving around.
So there was somebody whacking off in the parking lot?
I don't know what they were doing. It was right where you usually park.
Word.
Right, so I thought, for Pete's sakes.
We've got a whacker.
Because, every once in a while there'd be somebody goofy in the park.
So-
I had a guy throw a bike at me once when I was pulling into the parking lot.
Guy threw a bicycle.
Yeah, I see him running angrily towards me, and he's got this BMX bike, and I'm trying to check out the bike because I used to love BMX bikes.
Is that a Huffy? Is
And
that a red light?
all of a sudden I realized, this guy is really coming right at me, and he whipped his bike at me. Luckily, his aim is about as good as mine, and he missed dramatically.
But the guy with the fogged up windows, you didn't bother going over and tapping on the glass and saying, hey, what's going on?
Well, no, I just pulled up right next to him with my, brights on, pointing into the window to see what was going on, right? So I pulled, because I'm basically I could T-bone him if I kept going. Mm-hmm. And he pulled out. He just kind of peeled out, and he was gone.
It's great stuff. There's always something new and fun and interesting.
Keeps it fun around here.
Does.
Mm-hmm. Josh, do you remember when I pulled in here one morning and I came into the studio and I asked you a simple question? I said, because this is something I witnessed on my way to work, right near the building here. I asked Josh, I said, if you saw about, 25 teenagers running as fast as they possibly could at 3:30 in the morning, would you define that as suspicious? And he said yes.
Yes, very suspicious. Now, it's not unusual to see young people jogging around here because we're right next to the U of M campus. Be at 3:30 in the morning running as fast as they can.
As fast as I've ever seen teenagers move. They're all running away from, and some of them looked terrified. I said to Josh, would you define that as suspicious? And he said yes.
I would just guess at a party got busted up by the cops and they were running from the cops or
This
something.
was not running from a beer party looks that they had on their faces.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a difference. I think I could tell the difference if we were just watching a bunch of running videos and had to play a multiple choice as to what preceded it. I think I could tell the difference there.
I know the running from a beer party look. That's not what they had on their faces.
Offended Millennial Jesus says, was the Golden Valley building as wacko as the current building? Yeah, so we were in Golden Valley for many years before we came here in Minneapolis. I would say there was a couple of, unrelated to what we do, but a couple of protests that got a little scary.
I wasn't around for that.
Outside of that, there was a couple that I thought, well, this is going to go bad. But outside of that, I don't remember anything there.
No, that was fairly tame area, and it was so hidden. It was a hidden.
Yeah, it was tough to get to.
Little building. It was tough to get to. You almost had to make a mistake to end up in that parking lot. So around here is a little more wide open. The old building. Okay, cool. The old building. I can tell you one story from the old building where we had given away some big-time concert tickets to a group of college kids. One of those deals where we gave them away on the air, and the college kids showed up, a half hour after we got off the air to pick up their tickets. That's how excited they were to win these tickets. And so 4 or 5 of us were standing out in the parking lot at that point when they pulled in. And they said, hey, we're, Donnie and Missy. We're the ones who won those tickets this morning. And we said, oh, cool. Hey, congratulations. Come on in. We went in the building. We went to the front desk. They got their tickets. And I'm telling you, these kids were just pumped. I can't recall what the hell show it was. But they got into their thanks. We love your show, all that stuff. Thanks, bye, they say. And we said, bye. And they all got in their car. And as they were leaving, one of the girls in this college group picked up her shirt and her brassiere and showed us her boobs on the way out.
Hell yeah.
They're all going, yay.
A little friendly around here.
Thank you for the tickets. And she goes, weep. And she shows us her giant boobs as they drive by. And we all went, yay! Except for one guy in our group, this little old sales guy. He goes, oh, no. And we said, what? What's your problem? And straight out of a movie, anyone want to take a guess what he says? It's a line you might hear in a movie.
I have no idea.
Related to her?
He says, that's somebody's daughter right there.
Okay.
I've had those thoughts.
And we said, what, are you the biggest buzzkill of all time or what? Get out of here.
That's his first thought. That's adorable.
6 people, including a couple women who worked here, went, yay! When we saw the boobies, the one dude says, well, that's terrible. That's somebody's daughter right there. And we said, get out of here, for Christ's sake. Having a little fun. You know how I was talking about getting wasted earlier? A couple people have sent me in. There's a term here. I'm going to write it down for Josh. I'm so out of touch, as you people know.
What, you?
Yeah, that there are terms that get texted into me, and because I'm so out of touch with everything, including current slang terms, there are. I'm afraid to say that on the air, but everyone is texting in saying they want to get.
Oh no, you're still gonna hate it.
I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, you're gonna hate it, but
Okay.
no, that's not bad at all.
When I started off talking about a couple of my buddies who love to get wasted, on a side note, I do have one friend who at least puts an original spin on it. He says he wants to get crushed when he goes. Oh, dude, tonight I'm going to go out and I'm going to get crushed, he says. But anyway, so I was talking about...
Wapple, you got crushed every time you didn't get a match on Tinder, if I remember.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Yes.
When I was talking about getting wasted, a couple people texted in and said they want to go out and get chocolate wasted. Now, I don't know what that means.
Oh, I love that you said it.
Okay.
I love that you said that
That's
because...
so cute.
Do you guys all know what it means?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, that's from the movie Grown Up starring Adam Sandler.
Grown Ups.
You just made
starring-
an Adam Sandler reference.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I mean, I can live with that as much as I despise the guy. I innocently fell into it. Grown Ups. I don't remember that.
That was pretty funny.
I
Okay.
loved that
Kevin
movie,
James, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider, David Spade.
The Adam Sandler.
You know what? It's funny. I just read you some of the other stars in there, and that really didn't describe the movie.
No, that's all of his movies.
Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider, David Spade. Yeah, that's every single movie.
All right. Chocolate wasted is a reference to an Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it
movie.
was pretty funny.
All right. What else is going on around here? Later on this morning, we're going to give away that sod damn prize we've been bothering everyone about all week long.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
2,000 square feet of sod is going to land in somebody's lap this morning from the folks over there at A&L Sod.
I could use some of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that would be such a nice prize. Oh, and you don't have to worry about installing it or anything. Oh,
You don't got to worry about a damn thing,
Nope.
Ashley.
one day
Although, have you ever
have bad
installed it?
grass. Next day, you have great grass.
I know. Best in the neighborhood, right? It's kind of fun installing sod.
It
never
is. It's
done
very
that.
soothing. It's
Yeah.
calming almost.
Never saw it.
Well, it's also
Never
like,
saw it?
It's also like snow plowing and all that stuff. You see your progress as you go along.
Yeah, that is a good feeling.
And then you kind of sit back and your arms crossed, like, yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Then you sit back in a lawn chair drinking some sweet tea.
And then you overwater it or underwater it, and you just ruined it.
Screwed it all up. But for that one moment, Josh, that one little window, it felt really nice.
7:30. We'll get to that. We'll get a couple people on the telephone and give away the sod. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will dive into the mix. Well, we started off with some audio about kissing. Today is some kind of kissing holiday. It's a kiss.
Remember your first kiss day.
Kiss the oldest coworker in the room day. That's what it is. Kiss the oldest coworker in the room.
All right, Nick, get over here.
No, you get over here.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
The
old.
oldest
He can't-
coworker. Yeah, he doesn't come to you.
And that's
Finally, yes.
Despite the fact that there's a window separating us, it's an incredibly long walk to get
Yes,
to
it
that
is.
door from where we're at.
Yep.
What is the holiday again?
Remember your first kiss day.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Okay.
I got all my milestones done in one. So my first kiss was also the girl I lost my virginity to, and it was all in the same session.
Oh, wow.
I got it all over at
One
once.
fell swoop.
Yeah.
Talk about a trial
crazy.
by fire.
Yeah.
Really?
So, because I was trying to think,
You had
obviously knowing
never-
this topic would come up, I was trying to think, I'm like, I don't really have a very memorable first kiss. I'm like, oh, I know why, because it was all in one. And of course, I'm paying attention to the losing the virginity more than the first kiss.
And you were 19?
18. Please, come on. You're acting like I was really old when I lost it. I was 18. Yeah,
And
I was 2 months
That's
after.
great. You had never kissed a girl up until the night you lost your V card.
Yeah, not a real kiss.
Yeah, I
You know,
understand,
Pat,
yeah.
So, like, if you consider a real, like, passionate kiss
Yeah.
outside of a family member,
That's really
this was the first, person that
That's a hell
I
of a
didn't
s-
share a gene with.
hell of a story.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Josh.
Hell of a deal.
Usually people, work their way up to that a couple
And,
years.
and everything in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss, was the start.
Yep. I got
Penetration was the close, and everything else in between were all firsts for you in one night.
Yeah, so it was first base, second base.
Which is...
touching
yeah.
the ladies,
boobs.
Her breast.
Third base.
Yep. There was
Right.
third base. So third base in me and Nick's generation is hand stuff.
Right.
It seems like now it's mouth stuff.
Yeah, and then second would be hand stuff.
Yeah, they're doing it all wrong, the young people. So, but that is so... What a hell of a night, man. You must have been exhausted when it was all over, mentally and physically.
Really?
That's like hitting for the cycle in your MLB debut.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say, even though I was 18, to be honest, I wasn't ready. Even at 18, I was so sheltered, and there was so much guilt and everything. To the point I told my dad I felt so guilty about it.
Friggin' Catholics, man.
I know.
Friggin' Catholics.
I really thought I'm going to hell. I mean, I was kind of tore up about it. But at the time, this girl was actually pursuing me, and I couldn't believe it. Like, she was the one that was super aggressive. And I thought, well, I'm 18. I might as well get... All my buddies had already lost their virginity. Maybe I'll have a story out of this. But I was so nervous, I had to fake an orgasm.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the one and only time I ever had to do that. I figured it out after the first time. But it worked out for me because I got a wonderful reputation in school.
Oh, sure.
Where they called me the Energizer. And it took me a second to figure it out. But back in the day, the Energizer Bunny just kept going and going and going.
You were pumping back and forth like a sewing machine because you just couldn't get her done.
Yeah, and I had this reputation of being this, like, great love maker, but it was just, I was too scared.
So you took advantage of that reputation by hooking up with every girl in school, right?
Well, the ones that, after that, it didn't take long to get a real girlfriend. This wasn't a girlfriend. It was just kind of a one-and-done thing.
Yeah.
Word.
So, yeah, it worked out for me. It's kind of like when we went on a couple of work trips. The first work trip, I got chocolate wasted. I mean, I was just so hammered.
You were hammered.
And then we go back the next year, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Mr. Party Guy, we're going to get wasted again." I had this reputation. That was like a one-time thing for me to get that out of control. And it was, certainly my fault, but it was a promotion based around drinking, paid for by a tequila company. So they're just not forcing it down your throat, but forcing it down your throat.
More or less.
When
it's half done, they're giving you more, giving you more, giving you more.
So today's the day we are to think back to our very first kiss. Yeah, I remember.
How old were you?
I mean, I was a little kid.
Well, so kindergarten, so I was, 5 or 6, was the first time I ever kissed a girl. We're like, hey, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. But again, it was very innocent.
I remember who she was because she was one of my buddy's sisters. We were just little kids, but we tried to mimic passionate kissing, and then maybe I should stop talking at that point. At this point is how I should say it, because we tried all kinds of things that we shouldn't have tried for our age. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to take a guess, first grade or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
Ooh. We tried everything that we thought sex was about. You know what I mean? But we didn't know what we were, just little kids playing around.
I was in 5th grade when I had like my first kiss, but it was middle school when I had my first like real kiss.
Tongue and everything?
Tongue, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school, okay.
Yeah, I was in the same timeline as Ashley. First, just kind of like pecking was elementary school. Then, like the first, like it was a big deal when you're like, oh, "Are they gonna French?" We would call it. Yeah.
I do remember when after me and the boyfriend in middle school, like made out. That was the first boy I did other stuff with. I wasn't considered a woman yet, or whatever they say, because my time of the month wasn't happening. Well, it happened maybe like a week after that, and I remember going to my mom because I thought that I was pregnant or got an STD just from like kissing people and like doing stuff under the shirt. I was like, this is it? Oh my gosh, my life is over.
I remember having real fear hit me. I mean, we were so young and so completely clueless, so... Again, this was one of my buddy's sisters. This was a close family. We hung out with this family all the time. And so our parents, both mine and this girl's parents, they weren't morons. They were totally on to how she and I kept ducking into bedrooms and ducking into closets as tiny little kids, kissing and touching each other and silliness like that, right? Our folks were totally on to it. One night when we were all having dinner together, my dad made a joke at the dinner table about me and this little girl. My dad said, when these two get married, we should blah, 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 blah. It was just a joke, right? And the adults all laughed. I thought, oh, my God, I have to marry her? I was just a tiny little kid, but I thought, oh, God, we've been kissing and we've been trying to do other things, totally, fumbling, clueless as to what. But I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, I really got to.
You better start saving up for a ring.
I don't even have a job. I'm a second grader, whatever I was. It was frightening. I didn't catch on to the sarcasm, and I thought, my God, my single life is already over.
That's adorable.
Now, long-time listeners know that, Wapple, you lost your virginity at the age of 24, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about your first kiss?
First kiss was 4th grade, but that was,
we're talking about
passionate
kissing.
Like
kiss.
A romantic tongue, everything.
It would have been 22.
You were 22.
Yeah.
This is a great question from a listener. Does kissing a picture count?
Oh, if it does, then I got to change my answer.
Does anyone remember kissing a picture? Well,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, as a poster specifically, but yeah,
Who was it?
I made out with Janet Jackson.
You made out with a Janet Jackson poster.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's a nice one. Mine was Jesse McCartney.
Oh, God.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know who that is.
Is that the guy the Vikings just drafted to play quarterback?
No, that's J.J. McCarthy.
One-hit wonder from the 2000s.
Never heard of the guy. Anyone else kiss a picture?
Oh, yeah. Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
And
anybody get further than just kissing that picture?
Cut a hole in the Sears catalog.
The Sears catalog. That's all we had. Sears catalog, JCPenney catalog, and National Geographic. That's where the good stuff would be.
I don't recall kissing a picture, but I do remember, and I've told you about this, kissing the television screen as a little boy. When Debbie Boone, it wasn't even that long ago, we talked about Debbie Boone. Debbie Boone and Olivia Newton-John, when they came on television, I would kiss and lick the television screen if no one was looking.
Anybody practice on anything like a pillow or a mirror?
No
like
practicing.
Yes, practice on a pillow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely on a pillow. I
was
remember that.
so afraid of being a bad kisser because I heard other boys talk about girls in that way. Like, oh, yeah, she was such a terrible kisser. She won't stop biting my tongue. And I was like, oh, that cannot be me.
Boss Lady Shiza said the first time a guy kissed her, he had a mouthful of stickers. It was awful. So they must have been pretty young, I'd imagine. I would hope.
He had rubber cement in his mouth.
He just got done eating some Elmo stickers or something.
Did you know kids that would eat stickers?
I knew some paste eaters, but never a sticker eater.
Mouthful of stickers.
Crazy.
That's hilarious.
All right, you bastards, we ought to get going here. It's a Friday morning. We're pretty excited about it. We're going to give away that sod. Yeah, we're going to do that. And we got plenty to talk about with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder with the NFL friggin' draft. And the Wolves played tonight. All kinds of things happening. We'll take a break. In a few minutes, we'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Comedian John Christ.
How long have you been in Nashville? Let's see, 2018 is when I moved here. I lived in an apartment. I didn't know anything about it. I lived in L.A.
You were living in L.A.? How was that?
Yeah. Well, let's see, good for my career. Sent me to rehab, though, so that's pretty much the sum of it.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, you stupid idiots. Let me throw this text at you here before we go in any other direction, because there's a listener texted in that needs our well wishes and maybe a little bit of luck. Texted in to say, I'm a normal podcaster. Let me tell you something right from the get-go. There's nothing normal about the podcasters.
Hey, don't say that.
Normal podcaster here. Rarely up this early to hear you guys live, but he's checking in now this morning because he's on his way to the hospital for what he calls here some of that open heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
He says, hopefully I'll be able to check back in on Monday.
Good luck. I hope it goes well.
That's MRI repair guy, Jesus. Some of that open heart surgery.
Yeah, that's a serious surgery.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, they're pretty good at it, though.
They know what the hell they're doing in there.
I had a friend, I hadn't seen him in a little while, and we went to lunch not too long ago, and I asked him, I'm like, well, what's been new? And he's my age, so he's 49. And he's like, boy, not too much. 3 months ago, I had open heart surgery. He's like, yeah, I had a quadruple bypass. Like, you didn't lead with that? We've been talking. He's like, I didn't want to bug you with it or make you nervous. And I can tell you, he's fine. And if you're thinking, well, I saw the two of you at lunch together, and the guy looked terrible. He's always looked terrible.
He just looks awful.
Yeah, he's a not very good-looking guy.
I know people that just generally look terrible.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the heart, so you'll be fine. If he can make it, he's a giant weakling. Really, he is, and he made it just fine.
SAWFT. Soft. Kind of a thing.
But
Good luck.
Usually somebody might tell you, like, hey, just so you know, I'm going in for a quadruple bypass.
Right. Good luck, MRI repair guy, Jesus. What are you saying over there?
That's such a dude thing to not tell about, like a big, massive event in someone's life.
Well, I'd like to add to that dude thing because my wife's like, hey, how'd it go? I mean, you guys, did you catch up? What'd you talk about? I'm like, not much.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then I remember the next day, by the way.
It frustrates me.
So I guess I'm guilty of it as well, but I'm not the one that had the procedure.
Yeah.
Guys will talk about sports for 40 minutes and then bring up a quadruple bypass. As if it's just like a oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah. Good luck to the man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of luck.
Please get back to us.
Maybe you had to be there, but I heard a line at the beer hall the other night about bad luck. I'd never heard this before. Buddy of mine we were having dinner. Buddy of mine was talking about how he doesn't have any good luck when it comes to things like pull tabs and bingo and whatnot. And I'm in the same boat. We were having that conversation about how we're just not lucky people in that department. And my pal says, yep, I got nothing but bad luck. Like a bald man who wins a comb at the county fair.
That's good.
I like that line.
I'd never heard that before. All right, stupid news. We've talked about prom here once or twice in the last week. Your reaction to something like this here. Something like what I got here in story number 1. Your reaction depends, I guess, on who you are, what you believe in. Word is a drag performer put on a show at a high school prom down there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And angry parents are wetting their pants on this one. They want to know how a show like that happened at a school event. The school is called Atrisco. Atrisco is how you say it. Atrisco Heritage High School, if that matters at all to you. A video started going around the godless internet a few days ago. A video of this drag performer dancing around on the dance floor at the prom, all by himself, while the students are just watching. Parents are pissed, and the drag performer is pissed too. Parents of students who got a look-see at the video of the drag performer says they were shocked, disgusted, outraged. Something like this should have been approved. The parents say staff and chaperones should have intervened. They asked how the school considered this an age-appropriate event for teenagers. One parent said she wanted a refund for her kid's prom ticket. Now, I watched the video, and from what I saw, there was no nudity. The dancer
couldn't dance.
Couldn't dance very well.
I thought, well, they said provocative dance, and I thought, well, let's see how sexy. It was just kind of silly. I felt like I could get out there and do the same thing.
You're right, Josh. It didn't really dawn on me. There was really no dancing.
It was like a somersault, and it was weird.
Oh, I missed the somersault. To me, it looked like this drag performer was just doing that catwalk walk all over the dance floor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And did you notice? So I was trying to look at the reaction of the kids to see if they were enjoying it. Most of them looked like, what are we watching?
They didn't really have a reaction.
Not really offended or anything, just kind of confused by anything.
So there was no nudity. The dancer kind of walked around. I missed the somersault. He wiggled his ass a few times, but I doubt it was any filthier than how the kids dance themselves at prom these days. So I don't know. I mean, it was nothing dirtier than what I think a teenage kid could see on television. So, I think it's obvious the fact that it was a guy dressed in drag is what has drawn the most anger. That gimmick alone makes some people really mad. The school has sent a letter to parents saying they're investigating and they're looking into how students were impacted. The drag performer told the local news that he's not exactly effing thrilled either. He says he's getting death threats, which is a very popular move these days, of course.
Mm-hmm. That or, suggesting you kill yourself. Those are the two things you hear. Yeah, it was, I don't know how anybody thought this was going to be a good idea or this wasn't going to upset some people.
Right.
But I would have liked it to have been a little more sexy. I mean, it was just a bad dancer. And you're not kidding about the outfit, so it's provocative, to say the least. If somebody walked in here in that outfit, you'd go, oh, what the hell's going on? But at the same time, I'll tell you, having a couple of kids who went to prom, it was me and another dad were talking about, we were looking at our shoes the entire time. I could not believe some of the dresses. I mean, if you can even call them dresses these girls were wearing. It's a lot, not to sound like a total prude, but I was very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had a two-piece dress, so I had maybe 3 inches of my stomach showing, and the bottom was tight and all that. That was very in when I was in high school.
Skimpy.
Yeah.
Oh, as my mother would say, skimpy.
Yep.
Yeah, me and this other dad. So for my stepson, one of his proms was they were taking pictures at a park. Right, pretty much the entire school was at this park taking photos, and so the two of us just kind of walked to the opposite end of the park and just talked. It was uncomfortable.
One of my good friends, she wore one of those. Because I graduated 2004. Remember when J-Lo wore that dress that had that slit down the middle kind of thing, that green dress that was so popular? She wore one of those to prom, and they do the thing at the school where you walk in with your date and the parents are in the bleachers,
Oh, yep.
Her date's grandma started crying and got up and left and walked out when she saw what her grandson's date was wearing.
All right, Grandma,
she was so happy for him.
She was like, "Oh my God, I'm such a pro grandma." She was so offended. She walked out of the gym.
Wow.
Grandma walked out of the gym. Mm-hmm. One more note on the dancer here, and I'm not exactly sure what to make of this or what this means. Maybe you can figure it out. The dancer said he was not hired for the prom, but he did not elaborate beyond that. Do you have any idea what he means by that?
No, I was confused by that too.
Maybe he didn't realize the gig he got hired for was a prom?
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I have no idea. Skimpy.
But all he said was, I was not hired for the prom. Yeah, I mean, he obviously when he gets there, he sees it's a prom, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this isn't what I thought I was going to be doing.
But then maybe he had the attitude, well, $20 is $20.
Your mom's got that attitude.
Yeah, she does.
It makes no sense how some of the young people behaved last weekend in a place called San Gabriel, California. Derelict, jag-off teenage kids broke into the parking lot of a business. They spent some time twerking atop the company's vehicles and ended up doing $25,000 worth of damage. Well, let me tell you, when you're done twerking and you've cost somebody $25,000, I believe that makes you either the worst or the best twerker of all time. I'm just not sure which. The break-in happened at a joint called Pink Sponge Home Cleaning Service. They got a fleet of cute little pink motor vehicles that go...
ton of them.
Yeah, a pile of them.
Holy cow, yeah.
They go around town cleaning houses. You've seen that gimmick, I bet, right? They got a private parking lot with all their vehicles, and these derelicts mangled a bunch of the vehicles for them. Video surveillance footage at the joint showed at least 3 teenage kids going mental. One was blasting off a fire extinguisher. Another 2 were twerking on the hood of one of the company's vehicles. Someone over at the Pink Sponge said they kicked in every headlight they could. They broke the windows in the cars. They carved gang symbols and such into the hoods of the cars. They left a massive disaster in their wake. 18 of their vehicles were badly damaged. And as you can imagine, the folks at the Pink Sponge, they just don't get it. Why the hell did you come here and do that?
Why us?
One of the kids is a 15-year-old.
Oh, my gosh.
They are now in custody. The cops are looking for 2 teenage girls who were involved in this nonsense. They were involved in the twerking. Speaking of skimpy, one of the teenage girls appeared to have pulled her pants down for the twerking, so I'm sure her mom and dad will be pretty pumped when they see that video. Boss Pink over at the Pink Sponge commented, she said, "Our Pink Sponge team is strong." But it's been very sad, she said.
Pink Sponge will absorb this. And then we're going to clean this up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cruel what these girls did. And they look like morons doing it, too.
They do.
This video's up on 93x.com. That provocative dance at prom, that's up on 93x.com.
Now, some of you might be saying about the Pink Sponge, well, insurance will pay for the... No. That's the real bitch. Their insurance claim was denied because they've been vandalized before.
Oh.
So a GoFundMe has been pumped out to help these folks. Nice work, kids. Have fun in juvie.
Kind of like you referenced earlier of a former sales guy of ours, that person has parents, they've got a father. And those parents, hopefully they're reasonable people and looking at this like, what were you thinking?
Why did you do that?
What have we ever done to make you think that's going to be okay?
Right.
Where did I go wrong?
I'm sure my parents had that thought cross their mind once or twice. Where the hell did we go wrong?
What? Where'd your mic go? Oh, your mic just died.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's fried.
Oh, we should have just pretended like we couldn't. She was dead. And she became a ghost.
All right.
Just come on over here.
For Christ's
run
sake.
in the other studio.
No need in. You MILF hunters might want to get a look at this one.
Listening?
Where are the MILF hunters at in the audience? A 60-year-old gal has qualified for the Miss Argentina contest. And she'll be up against gals a third her age.
I have doubts that she's 60. She looks so young. There's only one picture I saw where, maybe.
I saw one picture also, Josh, where you can see the age in her face because of just some of the angles of the light or this or that. But
60,
in
never
the others,
would guess 60.
In the others, I'd say between 35 and 40 years old.
Yeah. And the one where she looks older to me, I thought maybe late 40s.
Do you really think maybe she's pulling a fast one here?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how they test something like that. Maybe they ask her trivia from 60 years ago.
They cut them open and check for the rings.
Yeah, that
something.
could happen too. This is on 93x.com. If you haven't seen it, you should take a look. She's 60, they're saying.
She's still slinging mad heat at what we believe to be 60 stinking years old. Alejandra Rodriguez is the name she goes by. She's a lawyer and a journalist, too, don't you know? She recently won the title of Miss Buenos Aires and qualified for the Miss Argentina beauty pageant. So here's how this all played out. Last year, the Miss Universe beauty contest became more inclusive by eliminating an age limit that had been enforced since 1958. Starting this year, the competition is no longer limited to women's between the ages of 18 and 28. So hell, call your hot aunt. It's wide open now. It's like Cowboys. Was that the name of the joint, Josh? Cowboys Bar back in the day, 18 plus?
Yeah, Cowboys, sure.
With the foam parties?
Yep.
Oh, foam parties. That's fun.
They were terrible.
Didn't they have the...
you walked out of there with this film on your... It was horrible.
Yeah,
foam parties was the worst idea ever.
I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be cool. You're right. When you leave, it's so stupid. Why did we ever do this?
It was terrible.
Who came up with this? And can you imagine being the person that's got to clean that up?
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
Was Cowboys the place that had the mechanical bulls as well?
It sounds right to me.
Oh, that's a good time.
Also overrated, to be totally honest with you. The two places we used to go for 18 plus, not often, because I was content just hanging out in my neighborhood at a house party, but a couple times we took a shot, went to that. Again, I think we have the name right, Cowboys. It was Warehouse District.
Yeah.
And then we also would go to, what the hell, Alligators.
Tropics? Oh, Alligators.
Alligators off of Bass Lake, I think Bass Lake Road, whatever the hell it was.
Did you ever go to Tropics?
It sounds familiar. Where was that?
Shoot, I don't remember what Tropics.
Isn't that what Cowboys became?
Maybe that is.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
I believe Cowboys then became... Anyway, back to this lady. She's 60. She's going to be in the Miss Argentina beauty pageant because she won the Miss Buenos Aires beauty contest. And she's damn young looking. She is.
Yeah.
She said she's very excited to show that all women, no matter how old they are, can be beautiful. All women can break barriers. The pageant will take place May 25th.
There's some pictures where she looks like she's barely 30.
Yeah. Now, Alejandra is what we all would prefer to be, divorced and single. It's just most of us are afraid to admit it. I'm not.
You haven't even been married a year.
I'm aware of that. Alejandra has a comment in here, more comments from this 60-year-old lady who's scorching hot. I am determined to fight for the crown of Miss Universe Argentina 2024, she said. I'll cut a young bitch if I have to. No, she didn't say that loud. Says here, maybe someone knows where I'm going with this, Alejandra's youthful appearance is reminding folks of another, quote, god of eternal youth, a pimp called Chondo Tan. He's a former male model who looks better in his 50s than most people do in their 20s and 30s. Ashley, do you have his poster, Chondo Tan?
No, I've never heard of him.
You should look him up. I didn't bother looking him up, but I thought maybe someone would enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Chondo?
Yeah. Well, I didn't until this article. He's a handsome guy. Yeah. I don't appreciate... He's one of those guys when he takes a picture of what is a perfect body. He has to pull down his underwear just above the weenie.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I hate that. I don't need to see all that.
Oh, I think that's okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's okay to show everything up to the weenie.
And he's got a prominent vein, too, that just, it really sticks out.
I see that.
And it's not his penis.
Some people love prominent veins.
That's true.
He's gorgeous, though. That's messed up.
Yeah,
Chondo?
Yeah.
Let me see what Chondo looks like.
He is. Show him that picture of the vein.
The vein.
Swing that computer my way so I can see Chondo in his vein.
That's insane.
He's 50, huh?
That just does not make sense.
He goes to the gym.
Is that photoshopped? It's like too much.
I didn't see the vein, Josh. But.
Why does he... In one of the photos, I can't find the one of the actual vein popping out, but in one of the photos, he is like carrying a salmon. Why does he have a salmon in his hand?
He just caught dinner. He's a provider. Hunter-gatherer. Chondo.
Do you want to come take a look at this vein?
Yeah, I want to see the vein. Give me a minute. I'm going to trip over to Josh's side of the room to see a vein.
Go check it out.
It's going to take a while. That room's pretty big
It's
over
a big
there.
room in there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's quite a vein, isn't it? I bet that right there powers an amazing erection because that vein is really large.
I thought that was because the picture I'm looking at, he's got like water splashing up. I thought that was just water, but that's wow.
He has a fat ass vein leading right down to his pecker.
Yep.
And
that kind of freaks me out.
I bet if you open that up, he would bleed to death with it. NWO Jesus says, what about Billy Gunn? He's 60-something. He's still looking pretty. Well, yeah, but you can see the age in his face. Chondo and this Alejandra gal, even their faces don't show much age. I got a text from Vertically Challenged Jesus about Chondo, and she says, that dude does not look like he's in his 50s.
I know.
What's the secret?
Ashley, you did post the lovely lady, did you not?
Yeah, the website's being not ideal today.
Okay, so it's up there. It's just our website is faltering.
Listener wants to know if Chondo also goes by the nickname of Girthmaster. No, those are two different guys.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I bet they're buddies.
Imagine, Ashley, you're on a double date with Chondo and the Girthmaster.
Some Eiffel Tower action or what?
It's funny when we were, so we talked about Girthmaster maybe Monday, I forget, earlier this week, and a buddy of mine texted me later on. He listened to the podcast, and he was like, it's about time you guys discovered Girthmaster. He's very familiar. I guess this guy's pretty popular online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then there were articles written about him this week talking about how he makes like $80,000 a month on OnlyFans.
Friggin' Girthmaster. He ain't so girthy. All right, here's the deal. We got to keep going. This is funny. Here's a family in, how do you call it?
Utah?
Yeah, they're getting the new hockey team. Utah. I couldn't come up with it. Here's a family in Utah that accidentally shipped their cat off in an Amazon box.
I thought it was a prank. Like, I still hard to wrap my brain around. She was trapped in an Amazon package.
I shipped my cat. Wasn't that the gimmick there for a while?
Shipped your pants?
This doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
What doesn't surprise you? That someone would ship a cat?
Cats love boxes.
Yeah, they do. But they got the little bastard back. They accidentally shipped their cat off in an Amazon box, but they got him back. It's a hell of a story. They accidentally shipped old Tunsis in an Amazon return box. They sent it from Utah to California. They thought that the cat was deader than Derringer or it had upped and run away until they got a telephone call telling them that their missing cat was found in Los Angeles. The mom in the household is a gal named Carrie Clark. She said her family's indoor-only cat, Galena, is actually the name of the cat. That's a stupid name. Galena mysteriously disappeared on April 10th. Friends and family helped them search the house. They searched the neighborhood. They went everywhere. They plastered missing posters around town and on that godless waste of time called social media. This Clark lady told the local news the anxiety and stress of not knowing what happened to my cat was excruciating. And I bet it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it was.
It's a hell of a deal. April 17th, a week later, she gets a call from a vet in California. The microchip gimmick helped them figure out whose cat this was.
In the box, the return box, one of the it was several boxes within this larger box, and one of them was from Caterpillar, and this, their logo is cat. So they've got a picture. They've got a picture of the cat next to this cat box.
So
they took it literal.
Yeah, there were boots. They were sending boots back to California. They didn't want it, so they get the package in Utah. Hey, we don't want these boots. They're going to send them back to California. The cat got in there. They didn't know it.
So then they just boxed the cat back up and then just sent it back to the family, right?
Yeah.
Return to sender.
Get it within 2 days. It's Amazon.
But, Wapple, with stops in Phoenix, Cheyenne, and Las Vegas first, and then it'll get back to Utah.
It went to someone else's house, and then they had to return.
I didn't order this cat.
So you know how this works. Someone at the Amazon warehouse opens up the box. There's a friggin' cat in there. The cat hadn't had anything to eat or drink for 6 days, but it lived.
Dude.
Oh, I bet it was meowing its head off.
Oh, sure.
I throw dodgeballs at kids for a living. Cheeses said that he thinks the husband shipped the cat on purpose. He didn't want the cat anymore.
What a miraculous story this is, huh? Clark lady and her husband, they booked a flight. As soon as they found out this cat was in L.A., they booked a flight for the next day to reunite with their miracle Puss. The cat recognized them right away. It was all very adorable. And this Clark lady finishes off the story by, what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging is the word. Everyone to triple check your Amazon boxes.
Any cats in here? No cats. All right, we're good.
God dang it, I had something in my head and I lost it. I was going to say something or another about this. Freaking cat in a box.
Imagine the Amazon worker that found it.
Mm-hmm.
What's that noise? I'd be terrified to open up that box.
Why is this this box purring?
Oh, I know what I was. Yeah, who was it that said, I bet that cow was meowing it? Cow. I bet that cat was meowing its ass off when they cracked that box open. Was that you, Ashley?
Yep.
You know the story when I left a cat for 3 days. This was my friggin' wife before years and years and years before I finally settled and agreed to marry her. You know, she asked me to go look after her cat for 3-4 days while she was out of town, and I said, sure, and I forgot all about the damn cat until the day that my future friggin' wife was getting back from this road trip. And, man, when I cracked the door on her apartment, that cat let me have it.
I love that.
Oh, he was seconds away from death. He hadn't had a damn thing to eat or drink for 3-4 days, and it was all my fault. I'd never heard an animal that loud in my life. He just, meow!
Here from the parking
You dumb
lot.
bastard, meow! When I tell that story still, my friggin' wife, she just gets pissed.
Does she still have the cat?
No, that was
the
so
cat
long.
you have? That was a different cat?
Yeah, he's dead.
Starvation?
Yep. No, we got different. Folks in Cuba must feel like a bunch of damn hosers right now. Sounds like here, Cubby, a dude from Canada went down to Cuba for vacation. He upped and died while he was there, and Cuba sent the wrong dead carcass back to his family.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Hey, Cuba, this ain't Uncle Donnie. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's awful.
Cuba is apologizing up and down. The poor dead guy goes by the name of Faraj Jarjour. His family's trying to figure out where the hell his dead body is after the Cubans sent the wrong dead guy back up to Canada. Faraj Jarjour's family was shocked when they cracked open the casket to find the body of a tattooed man many years younger than their dad, uncle, whoever the hell he is. This is the wrong guy. The funeral was supposed to take place a few days ago, but damn, who is the guy in this casket? They don't know where the real dead guy is. They were sent the wrong dead guy. They don't even know who the wrong dead guy is. So they're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, they got to change some things up at the morgue over there. That's pretty bad.
It's been a month, and they still don't know where the real dead guy is, and they don't know who the wrong dead guy is.
Hey, listen,
wow.
We're not very good at this. We'll admit it at this point.
We're trying.
Yeah, you think that guy lost his job?
Oh, that's
not
good.
again.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
What kind of a f***ing loser just sits there watching round after round? The Jets are up next. That's like going to a graduation ceremony where you don't know anybody who's graduating and just f***ing sitting there. They're going to have the whole list the next day. You got to sit there and watch that shit.
I love Chris Rock.
That wasn't Chris Rock, but as a statement, I also love Chris Rock. That's Bill Burr there.
That's funny, picking on the NFL draft. Oh, my God, what a hell of a deal. We can talk to Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. They'll want to fill us in on all this draft stuff. You know, I'm not the guy for that. I know I look like that guy.
You do.
I act like that guy 24/7, but I'm not the guy to tell you everything that happened at the silly NFL draft.
Up until now, you were that guy. Seems like you were always talking about your love for the NFL draft, but things have changed, I guess.
Things have changed. People can change, Josh.
They can.
You know, we were talking about cats a couple minutes ago. Got a funny text message on a cat. Listener says his cat climbed into the wall when they were having some work done on the house.
Oh, man.
And got sealed into the wall.
Oh, no.
It's like a Stephen King novel.
And then they had to make a new hole to get the cat out of the wall. You see what happened there?
That sucks.
We'll get to the draft. The Twins swept the White Sox. Wonderful. That's what you should do. They won 6-3 yesterday. Now they start a series in Anaheim, L.A., wherever the Angels play nowadays. The Wolves play tonight, Josh. You getting everyone together?
Yeah, well, family, you know.
Family.
I'm going to try and take a nap because it starts at stupid 9 or 9:30, whatever it is.
9:30, more like 9:50.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Right.
It's so dumb.
You're going to have your little nightcap on?
Yeah, but I'll be pretty excited.
You're on a 6-quarter streak. You think you're going to make it 10 today?
If I can stay awake, yes.
9:30, 9:45, 50, 10 o'clock, something like that. The Wolves Game 3 with the Phoenix Suns. Something we'll talk about in great detail is how you say it. Also, here in about a half hour or so. Josh's news is coming up next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
Mike Carruthers shares little pieces of intel and interviews you can use to improve your life on the Something You Should Know podcast.
The next time you're looking for a job and have to write a cover letter, here's some advice from Skip Freeman, author of a book called Headhunters Hiring Secrets. Add a P.S. to the bottom of that cover letter. That can actually increase the chances of that letter being read by up to 75%. Some people actually glance down and read the P.S. first.
Something You Should Know. Search on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Those words go against everything we stand for. Hate has no place and no home in Baltimore County, nor should it have any place across our state or here in our country.
A high school athletic director in Maryland has been charged with using artificial intelligence to create phony audio, planting racist, anti-Semitic words into the voice of his boss, the principal of Pikesville High School.
The Baltimore County Police Department became aware of a voice recording being circulated on social media. It was alleged the voice captured on the audio file belonged to Mr. Eric Eisworth, the principal at the Pikesville High School. We have now conclusive evidence that the recording was not authentic. Detectives obtained a second expert opinion from a forensic analyst with the University of California, Berkeley. It's been determined the recording was generated through the use of artificial intelligence.
You've been warning us about this shady stuff for a long time, Josh.
Well, it's amazing how the technology can sound pretty real.
Yeah, so someone was trying to get this guy fired?
Yeah, he did get suspended. The principal got suspended. Here, I'll explain why in a second, but
good Lord.
I listened to the clip, and it's distant. It sounds like I'm recording you, Nick, like we're in this room, and you don't realize my phone's recording you, right?
Okay.
It's not the greatest quality recording, but it's the inflections, it's everything. He's basically, this principal, the fake principal, is complaining about different people and students and bringing up their race and religion and stuff like that. It doesn't sound good, and he's suspended for it. So anyways, the athletic director here used AI to fake the principal's voice following conversations that his contract wasn't going to be renewed, and that upset him. The principal had expressed concerns over his work performance and some theft allegations that he had paid his roommate using school funds. Using cloning technology, he forged an audio clip in which it sounded as if the principal was making racist statements. The audio clip quickly spread online, leading to a wave of hate-filled messages on social media and a flurry of phone calls to the high school's front office. School officials school activities were even disrupted for a time as staff and students felt unsafe. The 31-year-old was linked to the fake recordings through an email and phone number, and forensic analysis revealed the use of AI-generated content with human editing after the fact.
You got to really hate somebody to go through with something so elaborate to get them fired. You got to really hate somebody. You also have to really be twisted to go through with such a thing.
He had so much time to think about what he was doing when he was putting all this together, too.
That's the madness in it, isn't it, Wapple?
Yeah.
Well, that normal people would have come to their exactly. Normal people would have
deleted it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little too far. Goodbye.
Yeah, what am I doing right now?
Oh, was he going to say something bad about your job performance? What the hell are you, some kind of diabolical 9-year-old?
Well, and that's what he thought. If he got rid of the principal, he wasn't going to get fired. His contract would be renewed.
And I'll get a raise.
But it did fool a lot of people to the point where he was suspended.
That's
there was an
effing
investigation.
scary.
And the guy, so he's going to take off. He decides, well, I better get out of here. They're on to me. But he decides to bring a gun to the airport, and that's how they got him.
He's also
he's bright. He's a bright guy.
So now he's a flight risk, too.
As tortured, and the principal, there was the principal, right?
Yeah, the principal.
How's he or she doing?
Well, he was, denying it from the beginning, and people weren't believing him. We heard you say it. They've got
right.
So thankfully, the authorities stepped in and figured it out.
Horrible, horrible thing to do to somebody. But in the end, they found out that this athletic director is a friggin' lunatic.
Yeah. Glad they got him out when they did.
Yeah, they found them out, and they can get him out of there now.
I don't think he'd even been there for a year. They figured him out quick.
Oh, my God.
A Florida sheriff's office said a man was arrested after creating computer-generated pornographic images of several victims. Investigators determined that Samarth Gautam took victims' photos from their social media accounts and used software to remove their clothing from the pictures.
Whether you're posting images of someone who you had consent to take naked at one time, or you're taking someone's face and going to artificially generate someone else's private parts on there and post it, it's the same crime, and you're going to be held accountable.
This man's despicable actions will not be tolerated here in Hillsborough County, said Sheriff Chad Chronister. I'm proud of our investigators who were able to get this man off the streets and get justice for the victims whose privacy was disgustingly violated, he said. In related news from our neighbors to the south, Iowa police are investigating AI-generated explicit photographs of students circulating in one of their high schools.
Photographs were distributed through Snapchat. He also mentioned that I should not worry because Snapchat only lasts for 3 to 5 seconds, which we all know. You can save it, you can screenshot it. Somebody else can take a picture of your pictures.
Parents are worried that no one will be held accountable for the lewd images because investigators say there's probably little they can do. Currently, Iowa's criminal code isn't clear on laws surrounding creating and distributing explicit AI photos, like the ones in this case. But a bill making it a felony to create media of minors engaged in a sex act or full or partially nude was signed into law last week. However, the new Iowa law doesn't go into effect until July 1st.
This is the number one reason why that AI stuff freaks me out so much.
What about that last story about the principal?
Is that the number two reason?
Yeah, that would suck too. But I mean, it's just so easy to put anybody's face on anybody. It's terrifying.
If you're going to do it to me, let me at least just approve the body.
Absolutely.
If it's going to be posted one way or another, I'd like a say.
Do you want Girthmaster's body?
A St. Paul woman is desperate to get her dog back after she was pushed down and robbed of her pet outside her home. 2 young men approached the woman in the Payne-Phelan area about 4 p.m. Wednesday and asked about her dog, Clementine. Clementine is a French Bulldog Boston Terrier mix. She's mostly black with a white chest, and her most noticeable feature is her front left leg is white. The woman was returning from a walk with Clementine when 2 young people asked if the dog was male or female. But the way they were acting made her uncomfortable. She thought she could get home safely, but one of them yanked Clementine's leash and kept saying, "Give me the effing dog." As the woman started screaming for help, the other person yanked her down some stairs and shoved her onto the pavement. The woman said she carries a knife with her when she walks Clementine, but the attack happened so fast and she was trying to keep hold of the leash, she wasn't able to reach it. French Bulldogs have become a target for thieves around the country because of their popularity and value. They're pricey pets, sometimes with price tags topping $10,000 or more, making them targets for theft.
I've seen Frenchies as low as $2,500, and I've seen them as high as $15,000.
What the hell is wrong with you? You went around town and stole a dog?
Yep. The joke might be on them because since it's a mixed breed, it might not be worth as much. Last fall, a 25-year-old St. Paul man was sentenced to over a year and a half in jail for his role in stealing a French bulldog off the porch of a Maplewood home and then holding it for ransom.
That's what you do, huh? You steal dogs.
That's how they decided to do things.
Good for you.
I wish you would have been able to get to her knife.
That must have been horrifying.
I can't
That's my
imagine.
damn dog.
Yeah.
I'd be inconsolable.
I think any of us would be.
Yep.
LAX airline workers got an unexpected earful from a woman who went on a vicious tirade, only for her to realize she was screaming at the wrong people.
Oh, no.
Video on 93X.com captured a woman fuming at Los Angeles' premier airport, where she had a meltdown after Delta apparently rebooked her flight for the next day because she missed her initial one. That was her fault. But she unloaded on employees anyway. She went on a full-blown expletive-laden rampage, demanding Delta get her the F on the next flight.
Seriously, call Pete Buttigieg right now, the head of the TSA. Get me up on the next flight. Get me up on the next motherfucking flight. Seriously.
She was so fired up, she punched a counter in protest. All the while, airline workers stand there dumbfounded, clearly trying to figure out why the lady's so pissed at them. Then, the woman's chaotic freakout came to a screeching halt when she realized she was actually at the WestJet terminal at LAX, not the Delta terminal. That's the airline she had a beef with. Just like that, she went from a raging psychopath to a giggling doofus in seconds, laughing at her colossal mistake and cracking jokes as if it were no big deal.
This is WestJet, not Delta.
I think you need to go over there.
Oh, you're the wrong terminal? You're at the wrong terminal?
I think you're in the wrong place.
Oh, my God.
Dude, you're taking me.
Jesus. We're talking full-on madness here.
Yeah, she's very unwell.
As you heard in the clip, it sounded like the WestJet workers did get a kick out of the mix-up, too, despite being on the receiving end of her tantrum moments earlier. That video's on 93X.com.
I was at Target yesterday, and the cashier, she looked at me and she goes, "I'm so sorry, but we do not have paper bags, only plastic." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And she goes, "Oh, okay, thank you so much." I'm like, "Have people gotten upset about this?" She goes, "Yeah, a guy about an hour ago got really mad and kind of yelled at me because we didn't have paper bags for him." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Her fault.
Yeah, and she said, she goes, we have plenty of cardboard boxes, but I haven't perfected the art of turning them into paper bags for you.
Motley Crue released a new song today called Dogs of War, their first track of the post-Mick Mars era on guitar.
Yeah.
John Five, a longtime close friend of Nikki Sixx and Motley Crue, is the band's new permanent guitar player. And Alien Ant Farm's sixth studio album, Mantras, debuts today. It's the band's first new album since 2015's Always and Forever. 93X.com is the place to be each Friday for all the new releases each and every week. Anything notable in new rock you can find on our website and our notable new releases post on Spotify. In theaters this week, Boy Kills World, a post-apocalyptic Bill Skarsgård movie where he plays a deaf-mute orphan who learns martial arts and goes on a killing spree to get revenge. Debuting today on Hulu, Thank You, Good Night, the Bon Jovi story. Read a review saying it was boring.
Darn.
Now streaming on Paramount Plus, Idris Elba returns in the premiere of Knuckles, a 6-episode Sonic the Hedgehog event, which takes place between the second and third movies. Shout out to longtime listener, first-time texter, Big Bowl of Kool-Aid Jesus. Word up to Emily, Wade, Grammy, Colty, Archie, and Big Dreams, Small Wiener Jesus, as well as his beautiful bride-to-be, Lindsay. They're headed up to the North Shore for their wedding this weekend. Double D Jesus texted in to say happy 9th anniversary to her boyfriend, Ross, and she's still looking for him to put a ring on it.
Yes, she is.
Mine bends where yours ends, Jesus, has a couple of birthday wishes this morning. Happy 20th to his son, Vinny Boombats Jesus. And also happy birthday to his wife, C-Note Jesus. That's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
Never had a grown man send me so many pictures with his shirt off.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show. The NFL Draft. Your chance to watch a team's fortunes change forever.
The Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback. The New York Jets select Zach Wilson. The Oakland Raiders select quarterback Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, no, keep going.
The Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel.
Oh, boy.
The Indianapolis Colts select quarterback University of Tennessee, Peyton Manning.
The NFL Draft. Football history.
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, get in here. We need somebody to talk about these kids making their way into the National Football League. Good morning, boys. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. And the NFL Draft. First person I saw last night, at 7 o'clock, I turned my television over just to see a handful of minutes of this nonsense. And the first person I saw on my television cubby was M and M.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's
Eminem
cool.
was out there.
I didn't realize the rapper. You familiar with him, Randy and Brad?
Absolutely, sure.
Got all his albums.
I didn't recognize
Name your
the guy.
favorite.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite Eminem record?
Eminem.
The self-titled debut.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize the guy. He just looks like your average schmuck.
Yeah.
He had his little hoodie on, and he got a little beard, and he. I saw M&M.
Yeah, he seems to be a pretty big football fan. He's the NFL, or at least the NFL's brought him out for quite a few things.
He's on 2 days, or not 2 days.
Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks, yeah.
Now I gotta ask Dana about something.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us that Jamarcus Russell story again? That was a funny opening, by the way. That was a funny. What's the word in the business, Josh?
Just the opening.
The opening.
The intro.
Intro. That's where I was going for. All these garbage quarterbacks who and other. Tell us your Jamarcus Russell story. I thought this was very entertaining. You and a buddy played like a long Jamarcus Russell prank on everyone that you hung out with back in the day.
We did. After college, I was living in Minneapolis, just the crappiest apartment you'd ever see, with a buddy from high school. And somehow we ended up with a Fathead gift card. You know those things where you get the plaster of a player on the wall?
Always
Boy,
wanted
they
one
were
of those.
very expensive.
They were.
I thought those were really cool.
And we were looking, and the gift card didn't have a ton on it. So we're like, well, let's check out the clearance section. You know, like Morneau's out of our price range at this point, you know. So we check out the clearance section, and it was already when Jamarcus Russell, the quarterback from LSU, that was the number 1 pick, went to the Raiders, was out of the league. So we're like,
he was already out of the league?
Or about to be.
Right.
You know, the shine was off at that point.
It had been proven to be a bust.
Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, let's get a Jamarcus Russell Fathead. That'll be kind of funny. So we got him, we put it up on the wall, and then we decided, like, let's just get a bunch of cheap Jamarcus Russell stuff and just decorate our apartment with it. So we got posters and like a jersey hung up on the wall. And when people come over, they'd be like, what's with the Jamarcus Russell stuff? Like, what do you mean? Like, well, he's kind of a bust. We're like, everyone loves a comeback story. It's not over yet. He'll be back. You know?
I just love that when people would come over to your place, they must have been thinking, what is it with these two guys and Jamarcus effing Russell?
Right. And then
hilarious.
Very clever.
A friend of a friend would come over, who didn't know us, and they'd finally be like, okay, I have to ask, what's the deal with Jamarcus Russell?
Do you know him or something?
They're like, no, he's our favorite player.
You got some people that even lose their temper over it.
Right.
That's the fun
they
part.
get angry.
It says here, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, the NFL set a record last night. There were 275,000 people in attendance for that draft in Detroit.
It sure looked like it.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was huge.
They kept showing the crowd.
Hell?
It was huge.
Why in the hell would you go down and sit?
I don't know. I was asking myself the same question when I saw that last night.
I did watch most of it though. I thought it was
really
kind of
did?
entertaining. Yeah, I had it on, I was doing some other stuff, but I had it on.
Oh,
and
my God.
So I paid attention. Obviously when the Vikings made theirs. I think I watched the first maybe 14 picks, and then just kind of looked every once in a while.
We played some great audio earlier also of comedian Chris Rock.
No.
And he's, what was the line again? Who would go and sit and watch the NFL draft? It's like showing up for a high school graduation and you don't know anyone.
Bill Burr.
A graduation ceremony and you don't know anyone. 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first round. That's some kind of an NFL record. Go ahead and tell us, Randy Shaver, about what the Vikings did now.
Well, the Vikings got their quarterback, or at least they feel like they got the quarterback of the future in J.J. McCarthy. I think one of the reasons why he's an instant fan favorite is because we're familiar with him. He played at Michigan. He's got name recognition here in town because we're a Big Ten city. And
I saw him play last year here in town.
Yep. So I think that helps him quite a bit. He wanted to come here in the worst way. So it's not like you're getting someone who didn't want to be here. I think the funniest part of the whole night, the Vikings tried to trade up. It didn't work out. It was too expensive. But they ended up giving up a lot last night regardless, because when the Falcons shocked the world,
that
Michael
pissed me
Penix
off.
at 8, and Kirk Cousins fell off his chair when they did that.
Yeah, he didn't know. I thought for
he
sure
had
maybe
no
he
idea.
knew.
They called
him during while they were on the clock.
Yes,
Told him.
and told him
Yes,
and he was stunned that they would do that. But when they did that, when the Falcons took Penix, that limited the Vikings' number of choices. There were 3 teams behind Atlanta that wanted a quarterback: Denver and
the Raiders.
The Raiders and the Vikings. And there were 2 guys left, McCarthy and Bo Nix. And the Vikings were all in on McCarthy. So that's when, somebody sent me a question on Twitter last night. Why would the Vikings trade with the Jets? They didn't want a quarterback.
Yeah.
It wasn't that the Jets didn't want anybody. It's that the Raiders and Denver tried really hard to move up.
Yeah, you never know who else might be calling the Jets and trying to make offers.
There you go.
It's a game of poker at that point where you're trying to outsmart the other teams that might be calling on the other line, literally.
Right.
And you're trying to make the best offer without knowing what the other offers are.
Right.
And
I saw a few jokes on the internet this morning that called the Falcons move, they called it an unsolicited Penix pick. I'm sorry, an unsolicited, you say the name Penix. It's called
Penix.
An unsolicited Penix pick.
I don't understand that pick at all, and I'm not the only one who doesn't. I don't get it.
I guess I don't mind it. And the reason why I don't is that Cousins is coming off an Achilles injury. The Falcons know that Cousins is not the quarterback of the future. He's just not. So
kind of damaged goods.
Yep.
But then why do you pay him $100 million?
Well, because if he's healthy, he'll give you 2 or 3 years of competitive football. But the point is, this was a draft of quarterbacks. This was the year, if you're looking down the road, what quarterbacks are coming down the pipeline. Maybe the Falcons looked at it and said, you know what? Next year, the year after, I'm not sure there's a quarterback there. This is the time to take him, let him sit behind Cousins, and give him a chance to develop.
But then you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. You're paying a guy $100 million because you want to win now.
I totally
and if you want to win now, don't you want to get the best maybe defensive player in the draft at that spot?
Yeah, sure you do.
But then on draft night, you're like, nope, we're going to take our quarterback of the future. I mean, it's just mixed messages. I don't get it.
Brad Ryder, another headline that I saw, Kirk Cousins has become the most expensive smokescreen in NFL history.
Did you guys watch, right afterwards, did you watch the Jets pick when they took that offensive tackle?
Yep.
Okay, so right afterwards, each time they have a pick, they show the fans, the ones dressed as teams.
Yeah, right.
There was one guy, a prominent in the front, right? He's right in the front, and you see he just kind of takes a second once they announce the pick, and he goes, okay.
All right, yeah.
That cracked me up.
It's like in Family Feud, like, okay, good answer, or they don't mean it.
So maybe they know something I don't. All right, I'll
I
accept
absolutely
that.
love
That'll
it.
protect Rodgers.
He traveled all the way to New York, got himself up to the front row, put on his outfit, and when they announced a name, he wasn't entirely familiar with who it was.
Yeah, he just kind of was like, all right.
Okay, that guy, I suppose.
Well,
that's fine.
The Jets, because of Atlanta, the Jets found themselves in an ideal position to increase their draft stock, and they ended up getting a fourth-round pick this year and a fifth-round pick from the Vikings in exchange for moving up or dropping back one pick. The Jets also gave the Vikings a sixth-round pick. That trade, totally get it. Makes so much sense for the Vikings. I think it's a wonderful deal. The Dallas Turner one, where they moved from 23 to 17, I just think they couldn't help themselves. I mean, Dallas Turner is probably one of the best defensive players in this draft, and the Vikings gave up a lot.
I love the reaction video when Kirk Cousins found out. He was like, what?
When Kirk Cousins found out
Or
what?
not Kirk Cousins, sorry, Kevin O'Connell.
When he found out what?
That
Dallas Turner was available to them.
Yeah.
Had fallen all the way to 17.
I completely agree with you on that take. If he's an all-pro guy, then it was worth it. But anything short of that, they gave up a lot. I mean, when you factor in what they gave up to get that pick to begin with Houston, it was 3 picks. It was 3 this year and 2 next year.
Which leaves them, Brad, they have only 3 picks next year. They
right.
have a first round.
And they don't have a pick now until Saturday anymore.
That's correct.
You guys are into this, man.
Well, they did give up a lot.
Listen to this, though, Nick.
It's a home run swing. I mean, if
sure it is.
If the guy's a home run, then it's worth it.
Go ahead. Dallas Turner, he's an edge rusher. Is that what they call it
from
nowadays?
Alabama. He's a really good player. There's no doubt about it. But
he was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Here's the key in all this.
Talk to me.
Next year, the Vikings have only a first-round pick and 2 fifth-round picks. That's all they have in the NFL draft after all the moves they've made. So this better work because you've mortgaged your future in a lot of ways. I get it. These are great players. But, man, you put a lot on the line.
The other side of the coin that I heard a lot last night when I was reading stuff is that they have a ton of cap space next year. So maybe their philosophy next year is, we don't have a lot of draft picks, but we're going to go spend money in free agency.
There you go. All right.
Now, what a fun night. It really was.
I thought it was entertaining.
You had a good time.
Yeah, the right before Dallas gets picked, the announcers were saying, "But look how pissed off he is. He wasn't expecting to slide down this far."
No.
And they were saying it's going to be bad for quarterbacks wherever he ends up, in his division.
Here was my thought.
Players hang on to that kind of thing forever.
It reminded me of Randy Moss.
Yeah, I was just
when Randy Moss slid down that draft board, and Denny Green drafted him.
Oh yeah.
There was that. That idea that I am going to show those 22 or 21 other teams that they made the biggest mistake they've ever made. I think Turner's in that same boat.
When he plays the way he wants to play, we get a player.
Exactly.
When he doesn't play, when we're not playing, he's just a guy. When he plays the way he wants to play, we get a player on the field.
Okay. A local kid got picked number 5 overall by the Los Angeles Chargers by the name of Joe Alt.
With the 5th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Joe Alt, tackle, Notre Dame.
Now, his dad played in the big leagues, right?
He played for Kansas City. He was drafted in the first round, John Alt.
I remember John very well.
Heights. Yep,
Columbia
Heights High School.
Now, good for
University of Iowa.
He was an Iowegian?
Well, he played
in college.
Iowa.
Yeah, he was an Iowegian in college. Yeah. This younger Alt, Joe, what? Joe.
Yes.
I'm just shocked that a kid these days will be named Joe and not
Joe Mauer,
Jaden, Caden, Hayden, Braden, Sladen.
Here's the thing about Joe Alt.
Yes?
Joe Alt was at Totino Grace. He was a tight end. He had a great frame, but he didn't. He probably weighed about 220, 230 when he was at Totino. In his senior year, he played a little bit of offensive line. He was really kind of more of a blocking tight end than a receiving tight end. But Notre Dame they drooled over the guy because and a lot of D1 programs did, because A, the pedigree, his dad.
Word.
And B,
some call it a legacy.
They saw the frame, and they said they knew he was not going to play tight end in college. He was going to be a tackle. And it was just a matter of time of putting on the weight. When I saw him last night at the draft, because I've interviewed Joe, I've known Joe for a while, I was astounded how big he was.
He looked pretty thick.
Oh, my God, is he just a monster. And he works out at TCO over there here in town, pre-draft stuff.
6'9" and 321 pounds.
I guess he just was a monster in the workouts. Yeah, he's going to be a great pro.
Vince McMahon's going to be calling the guy pro.
And you know why Harbaugh takes him is because he knows that this guy is going to work his ass off for a guy like Harbaugh. It's a perfect match.
The internet kind of got a kick out of Joe Alt and his girlfriend.
Yeah, she's become a meme.
When they were put up on the television last night. because she looked as if, I don't know, her facial expression was so funny.
I think it's a little unfair because if I remember right, they'll go when the players aren't there. They go show here they are watching it with their family wherever they're at. And he was in Minnesota watching with his family in Delwood, I think. Mm-hmm. And there was a delay. So you're sitting there like, okay, here's the reaction from him, and everyone's sitting there. And I think even the announcers had mentioned, like, wow, there's not really much of a reaction.
They didn't know they were on television.
There's a delay on all of those guys.
Yeah, so all of them had a delay, but this one seemed especially long.
It was like, it felt like a minute and a half, but it was probably only like 30 seconds. But yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's where that meme was taken, where she's kind of sitting there, they're listening, they're waiting for this to happen, but we had already heard that he got picked, and you're waiting to see people jump up and down.
Her facial expression was so funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Somebody on Twitter said it looks like she's being held hostage.
She might just be uncomfortable being on camera.
Yeah.
Too.
That was
we can all understand that. What?
That was another funny one, too, with the crowd, because they showed someone in the crowd, and no one was reacting. And then there was one guy in the front. He's like, come on, guys, let's get cheering.
Yeah,
and
then he pumped everybody up.
All right.
Oh, that whole gimmick, you know.
Offensive tackle.
Yeah, they come on, crowd, let's go crazy, that whole thing. Well, they showed also, there were some websites who showed a picture of Joe Alt sitting there with his blue fleece and his collar underneath. Some people said, this is the most Notre Dame-looking dude I've ever seen.
Exactly.
And someone else said he's absolutely one of the first guys in the coach's office to lay his jersey down so Rudy could be active.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Now, I saw something somewhere that said Ric Flair was going to get up and announce somebody's draft pick. Did that happen?
I think it's a later round, wasn't it?
Oh.
Let me look up the schedule. They published the schedule.
It didn't happen last night.
Okay, it didn't happen last night? Because I had heard that at some point or another, teams were going to be sending, some of their all-time greats up.
They do that later.
Do they do that later?
Yeah.
It looks like
yes?
the Buccaneers' third-round picks.
Oh, for God's sake.
So he's going to announce the 92nd pick.
Oh, my God.
And maybe, let me see if there's another one.
That's a way to get people to watch tonight.
Okay. I was reading that, Darryl Green's going to come out and make some picks for the Commodores, all-time great Darryl Green. Warren Moon is going to step up and make some picks for the Tennessee Titans. Andre Rison for the Falcons. But this is the name that grabbed me, and I bet you Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder are the only guys that can remember this guy. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to send Rolf Benershka up there.
Oh, yeah.
The punter.
Kicker.
Right?
Kicker.
Yeah.
Rolf Benershka. What an unbelievable name. And he played on, for you people who don't know, probably the coolest team to ever play the game of football, the early 80s San Diego
Coryell?
Chargers. With Don Coryell, Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner, Wes Chandler, John Jefferson, Chuck Muncie, Rolf Benershka. All right, what else is going on? We will, Monday we'll know every effing kid that the Vikings have drafted, correct?
But not many more.
But not many more.
So.
That's fine.
And the Bears obviously take Caleb Williams. They get the quarterback of the future. They get a receiver, the great receiver from Washington, Rome Odunze. So they cleaned up last night offensively.
With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern California.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tonight,
the division got interesting. There's young quarterbacks now in this division with McCarthy and with Caleb Williams. The Vikings will see him twice a year, right? So and you've got the young quarterback in Green Bay and Detroit. I mean, obviously they're going to be at some point in the next few years having to figure out what their quarterback position looks like. So
Caleb Williams will get the job right away. They're done with Kyle Orton at this point? Or
I think so, yes. They sent Bobby Douglas on his
the legend killer, Kyle Orton.
And your guy, what's your guy's name again?
Mike Glennon.
Yeah, Mike Glennon, they sent him packing too.
Tonight at 9:30 or 9:45 or somewhere as close to 10, the Wolves and the Suns will play Game 3 of their Western Conference quarterfinal series. We're very excited. The Wolves up 2-0 in the series.
Yep.
Do you think there's going to be a fight?
No.
I think these teams are going to fight.
I don't think so.
I think it got edgy enough towards the end of Game 2.
It'll be physical. There's no doubt it'll be physical.
I think that's just playoff basketball, and we're
These
not
two
used to
teams
seeing
are too
that.
smart
I don't think.
to
I mean, I'm used to. It's not like I was totally thrown by the physicality of the game. Okay, fine. I'm predicting at some point there's going to be a fight. I just hope the wrong guys or the right guys don't get involved, so there's suspensions. Right. These two teams are about to blow. You heard it here first. Wolves and Suns. Someone's going to get choked out. Is Grayson Allen able to play?
I haven't seen whether he's
probable. I've seen Kyle Anderson is questionable for us.
If there is a fight, I hope it's Grayson Allen that just gets punched in the face.
I love having Kyle out there.
Are the Jokic brothers going to be there? Maybe they could step in on our behalf.
The Jokic brothers, right. Did they end up going to last night's Laker game?
They were allowed to.
Probably.
Yes, I saw that they were allowed to, which, of course, is aggravating. Because any of the rest of us had punched someone in the face at an NBA game, we would never be allowed back. But Jokic's brothers probably got, like we were saying yesterday, probably got courtside seats.
That series may be over very quickly.
Oh, that series is over. Mm-hmm. It's done. And Denver's going to, like I said the other day, the best thing that could happen for the Wolves is they got to win this game tonight and close this series out as quickly as they can so they can get a little bit of rest, because Denver's going to be done. And Denver's going to sit around and wait for the winner of this series. And if the Wolves series goes 7 games, that's exhausting. That's not what they want to do.
There's a lot of reasons to love Charles Barkley, but got another one last night. Found another reason to love Charles Barkley last night. He hates the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'll be damned, I feel the same way. He was kind of being a smartass last night on television about the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, was he not?
I guess so, yeah.
Took kind of a victory lap, they say, picking on everyone over at ESPN for loving the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you have the audio of such things.
I can't play it on it, unfortunately.
Oh, you got problems over there? I would take my word for it, I guess.
I do think it was funny, if anybody remembers, during the All-Star weekend when they had Draymond Green on with those guys, when he, at the end of the interview, he basically said, and good luck in the play-in game. To Draymond.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The Orlando Magic handed the Cleveland Cavaliers their worst playoff loss in franchise history. They won by, 38 points?
They just clobbered them last night.
Cleveland will still win that series, I think. But
probably. But that should never happen. That should never happen.
No.
You should never lose by that many points, especially in the playoffs. But it's a different game. We've had this conversation before. 30 years ago, you would knock somebody into the third row once they got a lead of 25 or more. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Right.
Messages.
Then there would be a fight.
Yes, then there would be a fight. Twins swept the White Sox.
Oh, can they just stay here? Don't let them leave.
They have to leave.
No.
Do you realize if the White Sox went on an 18-game winning streak, they still wouldn't be back to 500?
That's incredible.
Is that true?
Sad.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, 3-22.
I knew they were bad, but holy cow.
Yeah.
Twins
Well, their record today, and did the math. I'm like, they could win 18 in a row, and they still wouldn't be back to 500.
How incredibly daunting is that? You're not even to the month of May yet.
April.
And you need an 18-game winning streak just to get a game under 500.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I hope they don't crack double digits.
Oh, my God.
The boys showed much dong yesterday. They went back-to-back yard sales twice in the game yesterday.
I really thought the story of the game, though, was Simeon Woods-Richardson.
He did all right, huh?
That kid looked pretty good. Yeah.
So now, Randy, the White Sox series has to end at one point or another.
I know, but we'll see him again shortly.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Bailey Ober starts tonight against the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles in the greater Orange County area, public and parochial. NHL last night, Florida beat Tampa Bay by a couple of goals, so they're up 3-0. Carolina beat the New York Islanders by a goal. Carolina is up 3-0. The NHL probably isn't too crazy about that. They have these 3-0-0. How do you say that again? 3-0 series up and down. And Brad Ryder.
Yes.
We got to let you go.
Oh, yeah.
Our garbage studios just can't handle more than 2 people on the telephone line at once. The system might overheat.
This studio isn't big enough for all of us.
Right. We don't need anything
too much
overheating
on the program, so I have to leave.
We don't need another
ego.
soundboard fire. We don't need that again. We cannot handle more than 2 people on the – because some of you might be saying, what about dad fights? Not this week. This week, sod fights. We need to get a couple people on the phone to give away this wonderful, wonderful sod from A and L sod. So, Brad, you go out and have a terrific weekend, and we thank you for everything.
Like I told Dana, just dock my pay 10 minutes.
No, you keep that extra 10.
Yeah,
All right,
you earned
thanks.
it.
All right. We'll see you guys Monday.
Goodbye. Goodbye. We got to get ourselves a sod damn winner to this sod damn contest. Randy Shaver, how's your lawn? Oh, you don't even have to worry about a lawn anymore, do you?
I don't have to tend to it, no.
God dang. How has that been?
You know, it's. I got to be honest with you, it's awesome.
I bet.
Hell yes, I bet it is.
Because in the wintertime, I don't have to shovel. I don't have to do anything. And it's a little frustrating in the wintertime when it doesn't get done right away, but I get it. But in the summertime, and we've been here, we've had grass now for just 2 of the 3 years because we didn't have it the first year. But it's amazing.
I hate yard work so much at this point in my life. I screwed up so badly with the place that I bought. There's so many trees. There's so much work in the fall and the spring. I just go crazy.
We have a town
hire it
home,
out.
so.
Well, some of it I do, Randy. Some of it I do. But some of it you just have to get on as quickly as possible. You can't wait for a crew to come. So I'm just telling you, what a dream come true it must be to just sit there. You know, Brad's leaf blower guy comes over, I imagine, right?
I don't know. He's pretty busy working on Brad's stuff, it seems.
I fantasize about one thing. There's 2 things I fantasize about yard-related. Either all of the trees in my neighborhood burning to the ground or living someplace without trees at all.
Oh, my gosh.
No trees at all. I hate trees.
Really?
You just need some coniferous ones in your neighborhood.
Whatever. What does that mean?
The ones that don't have leaves.
Yeah. Whatever. We've been qualifying folks all week for free grass, up to 2,000 feet of sod, which is valued at as much as $10,000 from A and L sod. So let's get our contestants on the telephone line and get going with this. I understand the names are Brian and Matt. Gentlemen.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Brian and Matt.
Good morning. How's it going?
We got both of you going here. Brian, where are you from?
I'm from Ramsey, Minnesota.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Well, didn't they have that adult bookstore? Was that Ramsey that you said? Everybody talked about that.
Yeah, I believe that was Highway 10.
Yeah, right off of Highway 10.
Yeah. Drove by it all the time as a kid.
Brian, you
he's
you drove by it as a kid. You never went in there?
Nope. Peeked in as a little kid, but never actually made it in there.
I'll be damned. Yeah, I remember that place. Josh, what a great memory. Matt, where are you? Where do you reside?
St. Paul.
I hear you. Well, we appreciate you getting involved. And here's the deal. We got to get this sod given away to one of you. When we were discussing how we wanted to give this wonderful prize away, we got to talking about, the thrill of having a brand new, beautiful lawn. And naturally, I think once that new grass is locked in, you're probably going to want to keep that lawn and your entire property maintained. We started talking about lawnmowers, weed whackers, wheelbarrows, tree trimmers, things like that. And because we're dark people around here, the conversation then shifted to all the ways we could mangle ourselves right there at our own homes. Kind of frightening.
I have a friend who slipped into his snowblower. And, it's strangely enough, it didn't break the skin, but it broke every bone in his foot.
It did not take the foot clean off for him.
No, but it broke every single one.
Somehow it stayed intact, but it broke all the bones in his foot. You ever had any accidents in the home, Brian or Matt?
No, I just enough not to have any accidents too bad around the house.
Matt?
I cut my finger pretty bad with scissors trying to get hockey tape off a stick once when I was a kid, but other than that, no.
Lucky bastards. Then we started talking about elaborate death scenes in movies. So today, to settle this, we're going to quiz you two on crazy movie deaths. And we've tried to make it so these movie deaths, for the most part, involve items that most of us might be able to find at our homes, indoor and outdoor. Indoor and outdoor. You following this, Matt and Brian?
I think so.
It's going to be a quick quiz. Won't take long. The two of you will get 3 questions each, a tiebreaker if necessary. Now, to determine who goes first, this was the most fair way to do that. Our text machine randomly selected your names to be finalists out of all the qualifiers. Thanks, everyone, for qualifying. We had like thousands of them.
Yeah, that was great. This is one of the biggest responses we've ever had.
So the first to answer questions this morning was determined by the first name the text machine spit out, and that was Brian. So you'll go first, okay, Brian?
All right.
And then Matt. Okay, you ready?
Sounds
3
good.
trivia questions on famous movie deaths. So let's do it. Josh, go get them. Here we go. Let me make sure I have everything in front of me. I'm ready.
You got your game in front of you?
I got the game in front of me. I got the bell.
You got the right questions in front of you?
I believe I have the right questions in front of me. Again, we're going for up to 2,000 square feet of sod, valued as much as $10,000 from A&L Sod.
Perhaps the most memorable scene in this Coen Brothers 1996 Oscar winner came near the end when Steve Buscemi's character got mulched into pulpy pieces after getting tossed in a wood chipper. Was that The Big Lebowski, Fargo, or No Country for Old Men?
Fargo.
Fargo is the correct answer. I haven't seen the TV series, but apparently a guy gets run through a butcher shop meat processor in the TV series.
That's how they dispose of his body. They just piece by piece put it through the meat processor.
Oh, that's gnarly.
That is gnarly.
So that's 1 for Brian.
Good start, Brian.
Randy Shaver, is the worst you've ever hurt yourself at home? Was it when your kid kicked you in the nuts out in the front lawn, or hit you with a baseball?
No, he hit me with a wiffle ball
in the bag.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Like a comebacker?
Full speed.
I've got that on video, actually. That happened to me.
Oh, my gosh, I'd love to see that video.
Bring it in.
I'll find it and show it to you.
You got a wiffle ball to the nuts?
Oh, yeah.
Full speed.
We can't count your bicycle accident. You were in your neighborhood, but you were not on your own property.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Brian, Matt, did you guys hear about Randy's bicycle accident back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Did you hear about his golf cart accident?
The golf cart was better, yeah.
Did you hear about his Ford Thunder?
Accidents?
Oh, we were just kind of running down the list. He survived all that and cancer twice. This guy is impossible to kill.
Unbreakable.
He's the toughest guy you've ever met.
Impressive.
All right, that's 1 for Brian. Here's your next question. Name this year hit movie from 1984 where a couple of little ugly evil mugwai bastards got themselves killed, one in a cake blender and one in a microwave. Now, would that be Gremlins, Ghoulies, or Critters?
I guess I'd have to guess Gremlins.
He's got 2, Cubby.
Yeah, he's doing real well.
He's got 2. I feel kind of special, when Gremlins first came out. I got to go to a sneak preview of the movie before anyone else in town got to see it because one of my buddy's dads was some kind of local movie theater big shot.
Oh, sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, that's 2 for Brian here.
Brian, here's your final one. In a 2008 death by lawnmower scene so stupid that audience laughed, Mark Wahlberg watched a man calmly start a riding mower and lay in its path while it way too slowly turns him in, mulches him into pulpy pieces. Are we talking about The Happening, The Sixth Sense, or Split?
I guess I'm not sure. What was the last one?
Split. S-P-L-I-T.
Let's go with that one.
Split? I'm sorry, that's your one and only incorrect answer. The Happening.
He's one of the lucky ones. He didn't see The Happening.
That scene was so stupid. It's supposed to be scary, intense. Yeah. And I remember at the theater, everyone was laughing like, are you serious?
Randy Shaver, The Happening?
Nope, never saw it.
Oh, lucky bastard.
Mark Wahlberg going, what? No.
Hilarious.
I'll tell you what, Brian, you went 2 for 3.
That's won plenty of contests in the past.
2 for 3 has won plenty of contests. Okay, 2 for Brian. Please write that down, Wobble.
Got it.
That brings Matt into the mix. Again, we've put together some questions. Matt from St. Paul again, you said?
Yep.
We've put together some questions. Oh, how do I say it again? Elaborate death scenes in movies. I'm going to start you off here and see how you do. Okay, where the hell is my next one? Here it is. The killer in the Friday the 13th movie series used plenty of items you might find in somebody's shed to kill his victims. Typically something like a machete, an axe, shears, a giant socket wrench. Even a fire poker was used by this hockey mask-wearing maniac. Was that Fred Krueger, Leatherface, or Jason Voorhees?
Jason Voorhees.
Now that's one for Matt. Nice work.
Well done.
Work.
Anybody here have a favorite kill of Jason Voorhees?
Ah, man. I couldn't put them together in my head.
I'm a conventionalist. I like it when he kept things simple, like when he used cryogenic material in space to freeze somebody and then shatter them into pieces.
That one got me.
Yeah, that lost me a little bit.
That cracked me up.
That would be so ridiculous.
The most ridiculous way to kill a killer.
Yeah, Matt, have you seen some of those movies? Sounds like you have.
Yeah, I have.
I thought Freddy versus Jason was pretty good at it.
That was fun.
That was my favorite.
It was.
Yeah, they kind of leaned into the ridiculousness of it all, you know?
Yeah, I heard people didn't like that. I don't know why. I thought that was pretty
I've
good.
never seen anything other than the final fight scene. And that final, if I'm was there more than one?
Is that the one at the lake?
Yes.
By the water?
It took a long time.
Yeah.
That final fight scene is some of the most fun you can have watching a movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't know anything about what happens prior to the. That is outstanding.
I remember the fight scene started. I was like, oh, wow, they're wrapping this thing up quickly. Then it went on for another 45 minutes.
It was like Family Guy, Peter and the Chicken. It's just like, all right, it's going to stop. No,
that might have been what inspired Peter in the damn.
And you don't care for those movies, right, Randy? That's not your style of movie?
Not at all.
No.
You're missing out.
I thought that one was pretty good.
Randy takes off all his clothes and watches The Notebook on Saturday.
Oh, that is a tearjerker. From what I've never seen it, but I hear
I've watched it over and over and over.
That's a great movie.
Isn't that the one where everyone cries?
Yes.
1 point for Matt here.
All right, Matt. In the 1996 first film of this 6 and counting slasher movie franchise, a girl who's clearly nipping out got lodged in a garage door and crushed to death when the masked killer raises that door. Was that Final Destination, Saw, or Scream?
Scream.
Scream is the correct answer. That scene is shown quite a bit when she first opens the door to the garage. Mm-hmm. It is announced that they will make a 7th Scream movie. No details yet on a release date. I only watched the first 2.
I've seen them all. Scream is just, I don't know, silly to me. Nick has said it before. He's like clumsy.
I don't get it how Scream every Halloween Scream makes a list of the top 10 scariest movies. It's a friggin' kids movie. It's silly.
I thought it was more of a comedy.
Right, it's more of a comedy. That and I never found Freddy Krueger very frightening at all. That's 2 points for Matt. Pardon me. Yes, Matt.
Yeah,
I got it right.
Yep.
Matt.
Yep.
We're tied.
That's correct.
So if I remember how these games are played, if Matt gets the next one correct, he is the outright stinking winner.
That would give him 3 points to 2, and that would make him the winner. Right.
Brian and Matt, do you both understand?
Yep.
Okay. Here is the big question. Maybe.
Brian, are you cheering for Matt, or do you hope he screws this one up?
I guess let's see if you can screw it up.
I mean, who has the more garbage lawn? Who needs this prize worst? Brian?
My lawn's okay, but I could definitely use it being nicer.
Okay, we can. What about Matt? Is your just dog feces?
Yeah, I just had some trees removed in the fall, and one side of my yard could use some new grass.
Let's just give it to Matt then.
I agree.
Congratulations.
Way to go, Matt. Brian, we so appreciate you calling in and taking this real well. You're taking this loss well.
Brian, next time maybe you'll exaggerate a more pathetic story about your lawn.
Just burned down recently.
No, we have to be fair about this. We'll ask Matt this last question, and if he gets it correct, he's the winner. If not, we have a tiebreaker. Here we go. Matt, your question goes like this. If you win this contest and let's say you buy a new mower to go along with your new sod, just remember that lawnmower parts are used for mowing and not killing. Name the 1996 Billy Bob Thornton movie where a feller named Carl used a mower part to open up the skull and kill country music star Dwight Yoakam. Was it Blade? Was it Sling Blade? Was it hatchet?
Was it Blade? Oh.
You're incorrect.
I did enjoy the Blade movies.
Very different than the one that was the
that's
correct
Wesley
answer.
Snipes.
You're thinking of Wesley Snipes.
Oh,
vampires.
yeah.
Kills
Dang it.
Matt, did you not see Sling Blade?
No, I did not see that one.
Really? I love that movie.
Good movie.
I loved Carl. I really did. I thought he was just the coolest cat. I love the simplicity of Carl.
Yeah, I did like that movie.
Well, that's a damn shame for Matt, but not for Brian, because now we got to go to a tiebreaker. You know what the good news is for me? I got nothing to do with it. It's all on Cubby.
I'm going to need somebody with a calculator.
Cubby's always in charge of the tiebreaker. It's dramatic, isn't it, Randy?
It's I'm on the edge of my seat.
When you used to live in a real house before you went to assisted living, did you have a riding lawnmower? You had a big property.
I did.
You did?
I did have a riding lawnmower for a while, but truth be told, once I got sick with cancer in '98, I've told this story before. Sid and Chad Hartman bought me a lawn service that summer because I could not cut my own lawn because I was going through chemotherapy. And,
that is a great story.
Yeah, and so Sid and Chad bought me a lawn service that summer and to get me through that year of 1998, and I just kept the guy after that. So I never ended up mowing my own lawn after that. So.
Great story. I'd forgotten that. You had told us that once before. It's
Yeah,
time
that's
for the tiebreaker between Brian and Matt.
I just got a message from our promotions director. She's kind of running this whole thing. I guess whoever loses, we're actually taking your lawn.
Oh, my God.
They just added that right now. Yeah, you're getting a pile of dirt.
We're coming over to after the show.
What are we going to put? We're putting in a skateboard ramp or something?
A dog park. We're putting in a dog park.
Sucks.
I got enough dogs. I already have a dog park in my backyard.
You got a couple of dogs over
Same
there.
here.
You both have multiple dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, no wonder your lawn is garbage.
Oh, I know. You got to come up with maybe if somebody knows. I'd love to know the solution to this. What do? We hose it off everything, and our lawn's just dead where they pee.
I can tell you what to do. A cousin of mine just let him poop in the house.
Oh God!
It's the pee you got to worry about.
Yeah.
All right, the tiebreaker. Josh, explain what the boys are up against.
Okay, so the tiebreaker is going to be a number, and you have to get closest to that number, and it's not without going over. So either side of it, whoever is the closest is going to win.
All right.
And Brian, again, it goes to you. Brian, right? He's the one that starts?
Brian.
So you can choose. Would you like to get the question first or second?
Let's go second.
Second, okay. All right. That's the way to play it. All right, so Brian, are you ready for the question?
Well, Matt would go first.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Matt. Yeah, but Brian, are you?
Yep.
Same. They're both ready. Matt, here we go. The subject of our tiebreaker, Kenny McCormick, from the long-running animated South Park, of course. He has died on screen a lot, often killed by some bastard. Between the South Park TV show and movies, how many times has poor Kenny died?
Matt?
500.
500. Okay. 500. Now, Brian, do you need the question again, or do you have an answer?
No, I heard it. Let's see. I'm going to go 200.
The correct answer is 126 times.
Brian. Brian would be our sod damn winner.
He is, yeah.
Brian, up to 2,000 square feet of sod, valued at as much as $10,000 from A&L Sod.
Sweet.
Plenty of people are texting in saying, how the hell do you not see Sling Blade?
What's the other thing he calls it? Some people call it a blank. Some people call it a sling blade.
A Kaiser blade.
A Kaiser blade.
Kaiser blade, sling blade.
Brian, we do have some great, Matt, we do have some great runner-up prizes for you as well.
All right.
Yeah, you're not going to walk away empty-handed.
You guys were great. I'm getting text messages offering up consolation prizes. We'll have to confirm all that.
I wasn't sure about that one.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
If that's true, that's going to be pretty sweet.
Brian, congratulations, and thank you very much, and same to you, Matt. You guys have a great weekend, and you'll be getting phone calls on all this.
All right.
Outstanding.
Dude, wait a second. Is there not a third place game?
You win the third place game, Randy.
Third place prize.
Damn.
I love that scene too. When Carl kills Dwight Yoakam. It's so creepy. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
Dwight Yoakam just sitting in his chair with a beer, reading the paper. Carl walks up and says, "How does a feller go ahead of? How does he say it? How does a feller go about getting a hold of the police? Just down 911. Get an ambulance or a hearse. Boom! He chops him in the head with the sling blade. Game over. Great movie.
I remember being pretty shocked.
Mm-hmm. Well, Randy Shaver, what the hell did we miss? Anything?
I don't think so. I think you got it covered.
Yeah, hell yeah. You go have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday morning about every damn thing.
Sounds good.
Thanks, buddy. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Comedian John Christ.
How long have you been in Nashville? Let's see, 2018 is when I moved here. I lived in an apartment. I didn't know anything about it. I lived in L.A.
You were living in L.A.? How was that?
Yeah. Well, let's see, good for my career. Sent me to rehab, though, so that's pretty much the sum of it.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The only really way to start to get rid of them is to vacuum them up, sweep them up, put them in a large garbage can, and then just kind of throw them away.
The 93X Half-assed morning show.
Boy, I'll tell you, with everything we've been through this morning here, we landed right on 8:30.
How?
We're right where we need to be. Right at 8:30 we landed here. F me running. It's been one hell of a deal today. We gave away that sod, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We gave away the sod.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any left over. We gave away all the sod.
Yep, it's all gone.
Excellent.
Yeah, the truck just caught here. They picked it up from the studio, and they're bringing it over to them.
It's all dead, unfortunately, but you can still call it sod.
Wapple peed on it a few times.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show, and congrats to our winner, Brian. Brian won our little sod fight. You are a true pimp, Brian, winning all that sod. We know this. A&L Sod wants to possibly hook up Matt, too. Matt was the loser. I wouldn't give Matt a damn thing. He's a loser.
He lost fair and square.
We got some messages. He did lose fair and square. We got some messages that leads us to believe that maybe A&L Sod is looking to do something nice for Matt. But at any rate, we don't know. Congratulations to Brian.
I'm starting to think these A&L Sod people are pretty cool. Yeah, they reached out during the contest and decided to maybe help him out a little bit.
Yeah, everyone from Lino Lakes is cool.
During our contest, we covered some elaborate deaths from movies. That was the subject matter for our sod contest. I got a message here. Riddle of Steel, Jesus texted in, and he said, I absolutely slam dunked every single one of those questions. And then he uses a word I hadn't heard before. He says, I'm a total cinephile.
Oh, sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's somebody that really enjoys movies. They're just into it. That's their thing.
Also, a text from Out for a Rip, Jesus says, can I give a shout-out to the losers? Speaking of losers, can I give a shout-out to the losers meeting me in Lanesboro for our 13th annual trout fishing / golfing weekend? Yeah, fair enough.
That sounds fun.
Shout-out to the losers. All right, Cubby, what do you got going on this weekend?
Well, I'm going to try and see if the A&L Sod people will come over. Maybe hook me. I mean, if they're just hooking up losers, I'm one. Not too much. I mean, my son's got this football camp going on. Do a little of that. They're going to watch the Timberwolves, obviously. as I am a very big bandwagon fan at this point.
Do you got a few extra bucks in your pocket?
No, not usually. I mean,
No?
I'm a very good saver, but I have like savings goals, right? So I put it aside for things I know I'm going to need to spend money on.
You're very good with your money.
I don't have just like a pot sitting there of I could spend this on whatever I want. I kind of put it in certain categories.
You're very responsible with your money.
Well, I try to be.
I was hoping you'd have a few bucks laying around that you could, because I thought it would be incredible and perfect for you if you would go out this weekend and buy a flame-throwing robot dog.
I have money set aside for that, $9,400, specifically set aside for the flame-throwing robot dog.
Let me see. What's the price tag? Did you get it right on the nuts?
I think it's $9,400, if I remember right.
What would you do with something like this?
Throw some flames.
Heck yeah.
A flame-throwing robot dog. First time I saw it, I thought it would be perfect for you.
Oh, I'm very envious of someone who could drop that amount of money on something that would easily get confiscated by the cops.
There's a video going all around, you know how they do, of the flame-throwing robot dog. And it looks to be something straight out of the Terminator movie series. It'll kill you dead. If you've always wanted a robot pet or just want to own a flamethrower, now you can have your robot dog, and you can set things on fire, too, thanks to a company in Effin, Ohio called Throw Flame.
And you mentioned the Terminator. I think they call it Terminator, the name of the dog.
They call the dog a Terminator.
Terminator, yeah.
Okay.
I have always wanted a flamethrower. But
yes.
I have no real reason. I mean, it'd be cool to walk around town and just light cigarettes with it if I see somebody on the corner.
Or snow removal. That would be nice.
I thought maybe that in the past when we've talked about your desire to own a flamethrower, I thought that snow removal fell into play where you thought you could use that on the driveway.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos. It looks awesome.
All right, let me describe this to you. Is this up on our website?
Yes. I posted it yesterday, though, so I probably have to boost it up.
Why don't you boost that pig? It's a robotic dog, and it moves, you know, like I said, straight out of something you'd see in a movie. It's got a black-mounted flamethrower up on top of its head. And the company says it can send streams of fire up to 30 feet with the push of a button.
Dude,
30 feet.
That is some throwing power.
A lot of workers were killed while creating.
That is so cool.
All right, go stand 28 feet. We got to test the limit to this thing, see how far it can go. Ah, still got me!
Video on the Facebook page of this company, Throw Flame. It shows the Terminator robot dog walking through a wooded area. It's spewing flames, and it's jumping around here and there. Flamethrowers are legal in 49 states. Only Maryland straight up bans them outright because of the incident. Minnesota, we're okay with flamethrowers? We know that for sure?
Well, last time we talked about not the dog, but flamethrowers in general, and my desire to own one, people said you can have them here.
So, but that probably changes when you strap it to the head of a robot dog?
It probably does. So, yeah, hopefully that information is correct. If a fire marshal is listening, maybe you could clarify that. But I can just tell you we received text saying that last time.
And you were right. Here it is. If and you want your own fire-belching robot dog, just hand the folks at Throw Flame. It says here $9,420 in trade.
I like in the video of the flame-throwing robot dog, he does a little hop and then throws some fire. I like that. That's adorable.
He gets himself settled. He gets into position. Yes, he does a little jump step. Here's a listener saying, Josh, go ahead and buy yourself a roofer's torch. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, sure. I saw it when I had my roof done. I saw people using a roofer's torch.
If you want some kind of flame-throwing device, people are saying a roofer's torch would be...
Actually, if I got one of those, I'll make you a fancy dessert.
Thank you so much. I love creme brulee. Was it creme brulee?
Yeah.
Is that what they burn?
Or maybe just go old school, Josh. Cigarette lighter and a can of aerosol.
We did that as kids for sure.
That was fun.
Like you're at a Slayer concert in 1988.
Or that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he filled up lighter fluid in a squirt gun and then lit a lighter in front of it. And it worked a lot better than I think it would in real life.
I missed that one.
Which one you don't know?
I think it was Sudden Death he did that in. The one where he plays the hockey goalie at the end to put the game into overtime so the bomb doesn't go off.
I'll be honest, I don't think he really knew how to play hockey.
No.
I couldn't put myself through that one. All right, there you go. But imagine if you got yourself a flame-throwing robot dog. It's Saturday night, right? It's around midnight. You're sitting out at your fire pit. You're cranking some acid rock with your bros. And hopefully a couple of foxes, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
A couple of babes. Your neighbor walks over and says, "Hey, dickhead, you want to turn down that damn acid rock? I'm trying to tear one off with the wife over here," or something like that. Your neighbor says. And you say, "Oh, are you looking for trouble, pal?" And then you hit that button. And your flame-pissing robot dog comes out of the darkness. And then the music kicks in. Boom, boom. Right, just like, wasn't that the Terminator song?
That would be awesome.
Boom, boom, bop. And the dog sprays your neighbor dude with fire.
That's so cool.
And then you turn up the acid rock. You turn it up even higher.
Yeah.
And wait for your next victim to wander in and say something cute.
I'd like to have a party, and then when people arrive, they see me just sitting on an elevated throne with a Terminator on either side.
And you're gently petting it like a bad guy in a Bond movie, like petting the cat, you know?
And then they howl, and they put their heads up towards the sky and just shoot flames straight out of it.
Does the company pretend to have any type of practical use for this, or are they just being like, yeah, it's used for violence?
What, is this a setup? That's a perfect setup to where I was going next. It's almost like we didn't work on that before we went on the air, did we?
No, we didn't. We're in separate studios.
They do have... How did you say it? It was very eloquent the way you said it.
Like a practical purpose for the Terminator?
Yeah, the folks at Throw Flame, they're not pushing this as like a guard dog to kill your enemies. They do list 8 different things to use, practical things that the flame urinating robot dog could do around your house or other places. Controlled burns. Right? Okay.
Yep.
Ice and snow removal.
Yeah, you don't have to get out there in the cold.
Ice and snow removal. Clearing weeds. What the hell could go wrong there?
They're usually by other things you don't want to light on fire.
No, we said controlled burn.
Clearing weeds. Next thing you know, you burn down the resort next door to your cabin. Oh, sorry. I just bought the Terminator, and I'm a little quick on the...
But hey, no weeds, right?
Right. No weeds, but the 103-year-old couple who's owned that resort next door to your cabin is homeless now. Pyrotechnics or entertainment, of course. You have a birthday party.
That'd be my number one use.
Didn't even think of that.
And what sounds like another great way to burn someone's home down to the screws, pest removal. Those better be some pretty unbelievable stink bugs.
Well, we've got a lot of those and mice now.
You got mice in the house?
We just got them again. We're lucky that way. We get them every once in a while.
Normally they come in when it begins to get cold, not when it begins to get warm.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's one like me just doesn't like the heat.
Did you leave a burrito on the floor or something somewhere?
No burrito goes to waste in my house. I have a crocheted sign. There's a cross-stitch sign that says that.
Well, that is something.
I look forward to us ushering in a terrifying new future here for the human race.
Me too.
I think everyone should have a Terminator.
Josh, you had mentioned how you would like to light a cigarette with it. It'd be funny if you were walking down the street and some guy's like, "Hey, man, you got a light?" I sure do.
Heck yeah.
Just burns his face off.
Or roasting marshmallows? How fun would that be?
They'd be cooked instantly. Yum.
I don't know what this means. I don't know what these things are. I don't know much about grass and weeds and trees and outdoorsy stuff. Candy Sheezes says she used to use a torch to kill sticker burr plants in my...
I hate those.
Yeah,
when you walk you walk through the woods and you get those little stickers on the bottom of your pants.
You about burrs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a plant that spits those at you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we have them all around our townhome, and our dogs, they always step in them, and one time one of them ate it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a week we were very concerned with what was happening because she would not eat. She was making this, like, noise for, like, 2 days.
What a little dummy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so she used to burn things up in the yard. She would burn up those weeds. She didn't like the burrs getting in her bell bottoms or something. Using a torch. What a way to go. What a way to go. All right.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool to own something like that?
Check
You're
it
right
out.
if it things could go terribly wrong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a 100% chance.
Yeah, it gets a mind of its own and just starts setting people on fire.
And as cool as I think that is, I think after a while, and probably a very short while, I'd wonder, did I just drop $9,400 on this thing?
Ah, man. Yeah, I dropped $9,400 just to accidentally kill my neighborhood. But it looks like fun.
Just be mindful, move out of their way, and just move on.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All ready to close things out here, aren't we, Cubby?
Pretty close.
Ready
Real
to
close.
Close the week out here. On the Half-Assed Morning Show, a lot of folks been texting in about the Terminator. We were talking about the Terminator a few minutes ago. It's a flame-throwing robot dog. With the press of a button, it'll spit a 30-foot inferno at its intended target. It sounds like it's on sale on the internet for somewheres around $9,500, okay? The Terminator, the flame-throwing robot dog. A listener texted in to say, if I ever bought a Terminator, I would name it Uma Thurman. Another individual texted in, I never thought of this. All the while we were talking about the Terminator, this never crossed my mind, and it should have. Another listener says, the movie Red Dawn would have gone a lot differently if every American had a Terminator.
That's a good point.
Those bastards never would have the balls to land right on a high school football field the way they did.
Heck no.
Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen and C. Thomas Howell, and they never would have had to run out into the woods. And fire can be a real bitch, though. I don't mess around with fire much. You know who had their house burned right down to the ground on them, Cubby?
Who dat?
Curtis.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, almost killed
How
a couple
long
of
ago?
guys. Oh, God, this must have been 20 years ago. Almost killed a couple of guys. I don't know how my dad never burned a house down the way he used to smoke in his sleep.
Well, yeah, in the commune I grew up in, we had 4 adult smokers, and it was the same thing. They always had cigarettes. My grandma would forget that she had a burning, like, she would sit the ashtray on the side of the couch, like either on the armrest or sitting right next to her, and she'd get up and just go do laundry and forget what she was up to.
Were they also sleep smokers?
Well, I don't know about sleep smokers, but they definitely did in their bedroom, so I guess I don't know.
Oh, sure. If they were regular cigarette smokers and older people, I guarantee.
Well, my grandma did fall asleep, like sitting on a chair. So I was picturing in bed. Yeah,
right.
Like she'd fall asleep, and she was one of those. She'd talk, and the cigarette would go up and down. Or she left it in her mouth.
It had that
when she
bounce.
talked.
Yeah. Oh, sure. They probably fell asleep with lit cigarettes way more than you were ever aware of.
I'm sure.
And my old man was a notorious sleepwalker, sleep talker. So he would smoke in bed, and he would be asleep. He would walk around the house smoking, and he would be asleep. How, in God's name, he never burnt a house down, I have no idea. We were pyros as kids, too. We would. That was a thrill for us to light things on fire.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Pouring your parents' lawnmower gasoline down the street.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go blocks and then light it and watch it all go, watch it all light and cruise its way down the street.
Did everybody have that one
sick, twisted stuff?
Did everybody have that one friend that was just a little too into lighting things on fire that kind of had you worried?
I had two of them.
For me, it was a cousin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a cousin that we thought for sure was going to grow up and be Jeffrey Dahmer.
Just doing the whole fire, Beavis and Butthead thing. It's like, yeah, all right, yeah, we get it.
Did I meet that? I met that cousin.
Oh yeah, you've met some of those.
But if it's the one I'm thinking of, the one that you thought would be the next Jeff Dahmer.
That's the one.
He gave me, the vibes he gave me within 5 seconds.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to pick up on that.
Did he ever even get just sort of Dahmer-y?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Someone else did that we didn't predict, unfortunately. Did some terrible things, but he didn't. He's the one that you would think, oh, it's going to be him for sure. But there's time. There's still time.
Yeah. There's always an opportunity there. Yeah, we were pyros, the gas fires. Did I have a buddy who liked it a little too much? Yes, I had two growing up who liked fire a little too much. One of them, I've told you before, he lit our high school on fire and almost got a bunch of us expelled.
That qualifies as a little too much.
And there was another one of my high school friends. Josh, you know how you talk about your wife behind the wheel? She's not the most attentive person behind the wheel.
Nope, not at all.
You have to shout at her at the last second to get her to notice the exit that she should be moving over in order to...
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to anymore. She rarely ever drives, but on the very infrequent time she does. I mean, for two reasons. One, her car's always disgusting, and two, I think she's not a very good driver. And I'm not like a dick about it. I mean, I just probably sounded like one right there, but I'm not a dick about it. I'll just make gentle suggestions like, okay, don't forget you got an exit. You got to get over. You're in the wrong.
You got to get over. You got to get over. Yeah.
Don't forget it's coming up. Like that kind of thing. But it drives her nuts. So now she's like, if I'm driving, you're not allowed to say a word. So now I don't say anything about it. I just sit back and go, oh, don't worry. We can just take the next exit.
Okay.
In my head, of course. I can't even say that out loud.
While you're silently praying in your head.
There's been times.
One of my buddies growing up was big time spacey like that behind the wheel, where you'd have to constantly be reminding him, dude, you got to move over. We got to take this next exit. And he would just be off in another world. And this will show you just how disconnected this guy could be. His folks' house caught on fire, and he's sitting in the house watching television and didn't know it. Someone had to come to the door and knock on the door and say, your house is on fire. That's how disconnected he could be in front of a television.
He just doesn't smell it.
He didn't smell it. He didn't, you'd think and it wasn't a big house. It wasn't like, way on this other end. It was a couple rooms away from him. Someone had to knock on the door and say, your house is, folks weren't home. He was the only one home. Your house is on fire. He says, no, it isn't. The guy had to pull him out and look, you dumb bastard. That's how.
Oh, my God.
I love that story. He's just in front of the, MTV. Just, duh.
I've been working on trying to be more present and in the moment, but that might be an extreme example where you're so into what you're doing you don't realize you're about to burn to death.
Oh, man.
Back to smoking in the house. Semicolon Jesus wants to know, Nick and Josh, did you have family with ashtrays in the bathroom? He didn't know it was weird until he had friends over.
They had ashtrays everywhere.
In the bathroom, too?
Everywhere,
yep.
Yeah.
My brother's house is like that.
I don't know if I ever noticed one in the bathroom. I think they just probably ash in the sink or ash in the tub or ash in the trash can. So I don't ever remember seeing ashtrays in the bathroom. But they were all over the damn place and stacked high. High with old cigarette butts. It would have to topple like a skyscraper.
It's like Jenga trying to put another one in
right
there so you don't knock them all over.
But then when my brother and I would put down a spitter, on a counter table, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My dad would say, well, that thing's gross. My spitter is gross as opposed to the 4.5-story tall cigarette pile you have next to the... Another one of my friends set himself on fire when bug spray. He had put on a pile of bug spray at an outdoor party, and he knocked into one of those, tiki torches?
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it was like that Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial. Bug spray. There you go.
I bet it looked kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys know this? Here's a text message from CFH bass player Jesus. Years ago, he says, did you guys know this? No, I didn't. Years ago, tobacco companies change how they make the filters so a cigarette left unattended will self-extinguish.
Yeah, I knew that.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know that either.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I knew that from dropping cigarettes and stuff in my cars. I would always be worried, and I'm like, oh, thank God it's a safe cigarette or whatever.
This is something you do frequently? You drop lit cigarettes in your
I used to.
He juggles with them.
I used to, you'd be ashing, and then all of a sudden it'd catch the wind, and it flies in your back seat or something like that.
That was always the worst.
No, I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Look at us. Flame-throwing dogs and self-extinguishing cigarettes. We've really made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like we advanced in one area, and then we put ourselves in extreme danger in the
That's a hell of a deal. Self-extinguishing by damn cigarettes. Why wouldn't every kid want to start smoking then? That sounds really cool. You know what I
Get
mean?
a pack right after the show.
Oh, God. What a week it's been, huh?
Yeah, it's something else. It's nice, our new digs. Everybody getting used to our, old studios, but new to us studios.
I don't know.
I'm getting there.
I don't know. I still don't like it very much. You're going to have to give me a couple more weeks on this.
Yeah, it'll become just regular for you.
It will. For now, I'm still a little irritated, to be totally I'm a little irritated.
I ran into somebody in the office yesterday, and they said, how's the new setup going? I'm like, we're getting kind of used to it. He goes, you can just say it sucks. I go, it sucks.
Yeah, I miss the old stuff. But we'll be all right.
Today is Candy Sheezus' last day at her current position at work, starting a new one on Monday, and she's excited about it. Maybe it'll be some new digs for her, and she'll enjoy it better than you guys are ours. Congratulations to you. Happy birthday to Sexy Ginger Butt Cheeses from NWO Jesus. Happy 14th to Jack from Smoking Hot Top End Rebuild Cheeses, Tiny Dance Cheeses, and Outpunted His Coverage Jesus. Happy 17th birthday to Bowen from Dad, Wisconsin Blind Guy Jesus. Happy 38th to Bad Timing Jesus, and to everyone, have a safe, sexy, and awesome weekend.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.